the Agudemun some Adi Bramo Copem Sadumi no ebabo. Around the seat and chakra na Yabasha Jumediana said you're free amanine song. Na Yavia Jumediano and so I will a yafisam Ebra Mena Adventure Cry Yamiadma this weekend. Yabaka some our Jumedi so of course Ghana Premier League and some and so our Hani Nano. Pamcho obetimi ajoinia live our YouTube Insha TV. YouTube Insha TV oba na was subscribe ya na do message no aka ho ebra ya de the midweek edition of Insha Digital Passport Jumedi no at the ebronti anya live on radio so kwa obetimi ahwe live our YouTube Insha TV subscribe for message no aka wona yakoba ya beka messages how do amde abryan and so our aye Jumedi so na UEFA Champions League road to the final as in Budapest. At your for stadium say gradually in kakran ya inching closer and then yame shaping up rem and so our final no and so mu nan na nyasem ketwa our Emirates Arsenal Atletico Madrid ekaba ko a omo entimi ante enti ode koka the first leg no ho Mikel Arteta and in the ranking no omo ATM the film 2-1 on aggregator make us say Arsenal echo almost second final in the UEFA Champions League the first time Arsenal call final na 2006 omo Barcelona and a call final so I game no Barca Arsenal e come yinuma Arsenal take kan ba kunti no so final no Arsenal call there but omo ntimi anje UEFA Champions League and this time I'm a rem our final. For message Libra, Ujire say Arsenal. And two teams from Babono, Omuba could be share Arsenal. Bayern Munich and a PSG almost one game in the first leg, you know. PSG at the Fieshe Loom, I'm a Bayern Munich. I'm going to take Kano a year at 9. And the two teams in the Obeshebiano on the 30th of this month. Our Budapest, our Hungry Montezo, Amo and Arsenal. And so ebetimi abwa ani ensema na ebetwentwe ho enso wudumadi but question no say Arsenal their second final amoko awo the UEFA Champions League ujide say this year year na ebimuso say year we there Arsenal year amoso betimi agi UEFA Champions League no then again even win the EPL as well intini na no atefo yebedi san komo no enso abo aye Jumedi so mpamto Ghana Premier League outstanding games and also da asini aye week 30 no and everybody dey free ho commercial sanoko ane ho game ne dey aye postponed because ye na him say GF disciplinary committee omuli na buy no ho United ya suspend omo at the free Ghana Premier League and afi all other GFA competitions and it is a one game against ho biano 3 points no yet the ebemanti asante kono ne ho game no eno de nyadia ebetimi abaso but half of folk ene carry lababo na sa game no didi dramani akasa de afa ho a eno zo yakoba na ya bedin komo no etimi edi amamo ene SMP from the Ghana Premier League and so beba already medin can catch them sir May 9th Jumedi no ya be sha fa the 25th anniversary and so be koso awu Kumasi Yera Hebetmensa, Sabre Ebra, Saturn Enchemin, Ato Ghana Mai, Amani 126, Eshomonka, our dear transports in Ebra. House of folk and the commercial Sanoko, and so boy and Openi, Sabonana, a chairman, Edema Asante Korogo. Na almost say I feel the 25th anniversary of the back Kumasi, na Omo Baba Shefana, and also Honsamoha, Nilano, Yebedi Hunkomo. And so awo aye Jumedi so this and many more and yatanasia midweek edition of Insha Digital Passports ya bobo ni na no na ye de ebrem nemum just yakoba na ye ba fifi Manfredo ha sansona Joshua Holutu onoso ombetene nka awo Jumedi so Richard Donkor enye obetimi afreme Richardo yakoba for message no bra of prediction aso obetimi de aba and anyway Dominic and Paris Saint-Germain when they send yonko na wakoshia Arsenal awo ayefana nyamiadoma on the 30th and then again would they say this year Arsenal year na This is their second final Amoko since 2006. Nina no betumi do message no aba na yakenkan etimi edi ama. Nemom gise yakoba na edin soma kan nina no etimi edi ebremo. Yedamase no pay for choosing insurance passports. Ohomre na no nkron aba pa husima no eduanan eye mienu na eno amno na nehwe Chelsea match na woda no. Chelsea new team starting game na about 10 minutes. Otuna ni baby. Yeah, so I know how to use the team. Oh, no problem. You better okay. Him say enye change.
Say after another game no. Na many Preston ye didn't come. And now our casting he was saying say it looks like now the Chelsea no the
broken
Ajuriga.
That's a move.
And I was saying say yeah, in fact one would not have expected say such a result would have happened, but only say at this point no, it's very difficult for Chelsea fans to even think of what will happen next.
My next game against Liverpool.
Yeah, in Liverpool. You be Anfield. Ne ye ni Man City abo FA Cup final. We are ye ne Tottenham Hotspur bebo at home. Before the final day no, Yako Sunderland. Reach all of these three remaining fixtures. Fixtures are you cannot stick your head out and even think say Chelsea can get more than 6 points from these three games. Because on the face of the results, Chelsea is at an all-time low. The last time at Chelsea lose 6 games on the spin was in '93. When you look at the way and now Omo Bobo now, you wonder, are they really Mr. Obi Wechro on tactical Emami? Come say a movie. Yeah. You wonder, say, what exactly is going on? Because when the game started, within 2 minutes, now we'll consider goal. And you wonder exactly what it is. Say a loss of concentration, say and now whilst I was watching the game, I woke up at the point I realized that game we so it's better you use your time for something else. Because and now it was very clear. Say once the game started, Rich, Tottenham Hotspur knew exactly what they wanted to get from the game.
2 minutes no match.
Come on. And Oshe Taiwo Awuni ni positioning in the boxer. You would have expected Obi to say Chaluba
to close him.
Come on, Rich, just look at this. You are in the box before the cross free far side na aba inside no. Malo Gusto had tracked his man down at least very close to him and behind him. He knew said there was a threat. But in front of him was an Awoni. Chaluba was also standing right ahead of him, looking to header and clear the ball. And you allow Awoni to score this very easy goal. 2 minutes down the clock. Rich, it looks to me as though indeed the Chelsea players are tired. So this is the kind of performance you get from a tired team. Yes, Casa Ekoso, Maresca, Sisakin, bringing in Liam Rosinia and all of that. I can understand the fact, say, Chelsea fans are disappointed in how Impeyifona are running the team. No? But Rich, when you have just a few games to go, and on a weekend where Brighton elusu the game, Fulham elusu the game, Liverpool elusu the game, and all of these teams are in and around you. So get the win and increase your chances of finishing top 4 or top 5 and our top 6 round. But you cannot lose concentration 2 minutes in the game and not expect to be punished. And that was what we saw. The second goal, no. Just look at the situation, Rich. Just look at the situation in the box. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Chelsea players. And how many Nottingham Forest players? Just 2 in the box. But you allowed so much space. And look at the silly tackler, Malo Gusto. When you know that your man has passed you and he's definitely going to score a goal, just leave him. For all you know, in the cross will be a bit and the ball will not even end up in the net. But such a silly error to make. What you know? With expectations, say referee no on my penalty and accident.
Sebi.
I really don't understand the thinking of Malo Gusto in this particular situation. Because you don't put yourself in such a position to concede a very sloppy penalty. At the share, almost second goal. Now, Rich, so many people are saying, say, Cole Palmer is washed, and if you don't take care, he'll not go for the World Cup. I may want to side with some of them. But the truth of the matter is that the selection for the World Cup is down to Thomas Tuchel. Yes, on the face of it, Cole Palmer has lost a lot of form. He has not been himself. Obama Chmukrana, his energy is very low. But I want Chelsea fans to be patient with this young man. Because the fact alone that he's very committed to the project. When other teammates are saying different things, he still has an idea or a vision for both himself and for Chelsea Football Club. Utum say no penalty, no say no. We never expected it because Nottingham Forest. Now, when you're penalty in a game where nothing seems to be going your way, and Cole Palmer is behind the penalty.
That's an more than for my 2-0.
Yes, 2-0.
To the Shannon 2-1.
You would expect Cole Palmer, ice cold, Obiaya ready to celebrate. Only for the penalty to be missed. Yes, Cole Palmer is not at the best, but let's cut him some slack because in the very difficult times at Chelsea when we needed goals in the past, he came through for us. And every player will go through some of these seasons where or you need to still pick up yourself and keep running. After the World Cup conversation, me call because it depends on what Thomas wants.
Too early
it's too early for us to be calling for some of these things. But Rich, I think this guy needs to be commended a lot. Vitor Pereira. I would say this season, people have underestimated the form that Nottingham Forest have picked up going to the end of the season. Why? Because almost the coach, this will be their fourth manager for the season. But Oba inside, no. And I listened to him and I followed him very carefully. Okasembi, or say, when he took the job at Nottingham Forest, he realized that, look, it was not necessarily about the tactics. Because if you have four different managers, by now the players are overloaded with how to play the game. But I realized in terms of how to manage the egos of the players, introducing something like music in training to give them more motivation.
Wow.
Those were some of the very simple things that Obaye, he allowed them to do what they wanted to do. And those are some that have made a difference for Nottingham Forest and Vitor Pereira. And I'll be thinking about Evangelos Marinakis. And I'll be saying to myself, say, Papa Nenibeji Pan. Well, this is what he wanted.
Yeah.
As to whether it was the right thing to do to sack all of these managers, maybe you may disagree with that.
Sometimes players know it's psychological.
And that is the thing.
Michael Carrick about Manchester United. It's the first meeting with the players.
Yeah.
I know catch a players and they say, look, me bana mabano. And yet
yeah.
Let's go back to the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Players is number 2, original number 2.
Yeah.
Player profiling, right? Then I will feel some do coach number 2. Now then I bet you I'm a team. Do it.
Good.
And yet Chinchina, Yankoba 3 back, Yankoba 4 back. You could game the man. The FU say yeah, be my result. Let's do it.
Yeah.
The Mumu players in the park is Mumu feel some yeah, the result be mine. Do it.
Good. And that is what Vitor Pereira has done. And
the result that they are Manchester United.
Because now they can safely tell themselves that they've avoided relegation.
Because who say players no do sa stage now.
Yeah.
Pressure about so that.
Yeah. Building very high.
So bombardou with tactics. Now mama di mo Ojina park go to go some day.
Yeah.
Allow very them true. Fundamentals no obodu 2 we born 3 4 5. Obi no main result. That's it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Momo there. Me say money Liverpool no. Say answer to Traupa na Chelsea to which na come back as if
Rich I do the remember later.
Yeah, man lead the charge and papa no.
Me say
Chelsea do it.
As for but Rich Chelsea no I don't think
players no
but Rich
psychologically
but the truth is that if Chelsea are very honest with themselves they say they're marking in Pennyfono nim say at the end of the season a lot of things will have to be done drastically in terms of say overhauling or say players now because there are some players who need to be removed from this team and it's very clear. Obviously Liam Delap, I don't see the future he has at all.
Total overhauling.
Oh, really? You don't agree with me?
No.
You don't agree with me? I don't know.
If you say 1 or 2 be penny somewhere.
No, there is one.
You see, me personal opinion.
Good.
The Chelsea are me sure. I don't think team near bad. They be a churches in Libya where madam for. The team is not bad. But the other woman say sometimes say we do stage be say not team no result number affect players na karina. It will a good crana. Once I fail in the performance as I perform.
Yeah.
And a typical example is Manchester United. There was a point. Ebi only Bruno there be Obama stand out performance. Players na karina from A to Z. Obiaba the performance and I think that Chelsea problem no ebi a goalkeeping se mutimi solve you are good to go more defense or no center back or no at least munya 1 or 2 be do augment to her it's okay midfield me sure say especially with the central midfield rule more problem gidi ebi a wings or no and I also munya 1 be and now 2 be do augment to no then one prolific striker.
Forward.
You are good to go.
The reason why I'm talking about an overhaul is say it may not even necessarily be about the players.
Okay.
In terms of mentality.
Okay.
Because on say Enra no me who be on say Thiago Silva was at the stadium and throughout the game he was not happy. But Omoji camera echo see Rhys James so on the bench he was smiling and I'm saying that we are reading too much meaning into those things. I mean, it could be for any other reason at all. Rhys James, ABA out the bench, so be a card, ABA at nursery, and I was 3. And I come and Kuchano. After you say he's laughing because he's not a good captain. I don't think those things should be entertained. But when you look at it critically, there needs to be a change in the mindset of the players. And I honestly feel said Chelsea, if they'll have to do it, start from the top. Rich, Edna, I was watching the game live, and Edremebiong. Also, I've always come to say here that Manchester City would win the league. But after a game, and after everything that happened, one would also expect Semiba will come and eat humble pie. Rich, let me say this on record. Say, I still think that Manchester City has a very good chance of winning the league. That is what I think.
Okay.
Do you know why? Say, in psychology, there's something called atikiphobia. At this point, that is what Arteta will be facing. And atikiphobia is simply the fear of failure. On say baby are doing running we say now or train so brand okay it means to make a shot then the pressure will swing to another direction. At this point Arsenal for share over the weekend the pressure came to Man City. But now that Man City has dropped points the pressure will go back to Arsenal and Arteta because in their minds they need to win that game against West Ham or London Stadium to give them a better chance of winning the league. But I think that is the game where if they would want to falter, we may see something over there. Because West Ham is also trying to survive relegation. And also it's up and down. But in that game at the London Stadium, they also know say everything hinges on their winning or getting a point from that game. So to me, it is very difficult for us now to keep their composure at this point. Because Arteta said today he has to play Champions League.
Yeah.
Now he has to try and manage the games, manage the players in terms of their fitness levels as well. But how are they going to play that game against West Ham? They will have that fear of failure in them. Say, hey, game way, I will see a call, near try, you shall one goal, like you defend it. If that is the kind of mindset they will go into that game with, Rich, I can tell you for a fact that Arsenal will lose or they will play a draw when everybody expects them to win.
How's it in so games?
But Rich, I can understand. Say, according to what Guardiola says, it is not in our hands. Before it was. Now it's not. We have games left. We'll see what will happen. And until the running is over, it is not over.
Okay.
If you're looking at a team like West Ham and Arsenal at the London Stadium, Arsenal will be going away from home. And they know that that game is more like a final. If they win, celebrations will begin. I think that is where Arsenal can falter. But look at it, just look at the brilliance of Jeremy Doku. Right foot, and then later, left foot, and then later, right foot. And I was so happy because in the game, Haaland was not showing up. Semenyo was not showing up. Doku took the charge upon himself. Said Obetimi Abua to help in winning. But Rich, I realized one thing about Everton. First half, they didn't really get the tempo right. But once the game came into the second half, no, I saw what David Moyes was trying to do. He started going long into Pickford near ball now. He will go long. Then once they're able to get the second balls, then they try and speed into the box of Man City. In the man in there in your first chance, no, or say no. But right after that, that was when the mistake from Mark Guehi happened. And when you look very carefully, Mark Guehi is simply in a position where he has not been before. And that's the truth. Because Ushe at this particular position, the threat was not there. Thierry Barry was close to him, but not on him. He would have played the ball to Donnarumma and then they will recycle their possession. But Thierry Barry was also very smart. Looking at the position of Mark Guehi, it was very clear that he was signaling to Donnarumma. Donnarumma was not watching him. Okay. It's Usha. You see that Donnarumma simply didn't come forward early. And at Thierry Barry, any chance.
And then
Oshe go. Now, Maminko to and then games I ever Champions League. On said, now no, Arsenal have their minds in two places, the Champions League and then the Premier League. But any game no would not be a repeat of what we saw in the first leg. The reason why I'm saying this is because both managers, Akasa, and some of the players are also speaking. Now, Ushe very closely at what they are saying now. One sounds very technical and tactical. The other sounds very emotional. Mikel Arteta, or say, I can't wait. I feel the energy in and amongst the team. Our supporters, and also these are the moments that we want to live together. We had a lot of work as a club to do and as a team after 20 years to be in this position again. So we are so hungry to get a game that we want tomorrow and go through to the final. Vitor Gyökeres and Swakasa. So when you look at them, they are relishing a chance of playing the Champions League final. But when you listen to Diego Simeone, any Atletico Madrid, Antoine Griezmann and Swakasa, or say, I'm going to tell my players to play like they did in the second half at home. We will try to play the match that needs to be played with the intensity it demands. We have a lot of faith in what we want to do. Rich, it is very simple. The game is going to be quite technical on the side of Atletico Madrid. They are away from home. Arsenal on the other hand will try to pounce on them. Into what will make the difference is that Atletico Madrid need to relish their chances moving forward. Into Obiti says Simeone and I say Ademola Lookman. Once they recycle possession, I was saying Omutimi fast to get the ball into space. Because that is what would be the strength of the team. They are definitely coming back to defend. So in this game, they need to look at it as a game where they will defend and get their chances on the break. But Arsenal's one big problem is how they defend on the counter. They are not so good. Okay. And they tend to make a lot of mistakes. And this is one of the very simple ways the game could go. It could go from start to finish the same intensity.
It's one or the final.
Rich, I think Arsenal is playing at home. Mm-hmm. And everybody thinks that with the home advantage, they should be the ones to qualify. But I think there could be a surprise today. I think Atletico Madrid will be a surprise. And if the game goes into extra time, it becomes worse for Arsenal. Okay. Because the fear factor may creep in. Okay. But if I say
Obi also predicted Arsenal will be ATM. It is a game maybe I have 90 minutes so no.
The opponent becomes
no players no play with more questions.
Yes.
Okay.
You get the point. And I think that is how.
So you think ATM can surprise Arsenal?
There could be.
By in a nutshell, no why now who is over final?
No, ATM beko final.
ATM beko final.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, and then me work codes be a person.
No problem. No problem. Any about fast now.
And the good screen is so no to share Nhyira TV. You can pick up the codes by omo muti radio no so me boss na omo person mu koefikasi you can also pick it up. In the first code na BW 53A 90A21. BW 53A 90A21. Second code no BW 53A 8FF09. BW 53A 8FF09. Now third code no so BW 53A 8E9A6. BW 53A 8E9A6. Now the next one BW 53A 8BD00. BW 53A 8BD00. Now the next one so BW53A 8B25C. BW53A 8B25C.
Okay.
Afi last one no BW53A 8A2F6. BW53A 8A2F6. Rich.
Good luck to Obetwabina. Yama fear, but message Kakrabina, and I'm known and never Charles March and I would done. Chelsea knew a Jimbo. Started giving now about 10 minutes. Or 10 any baby. Yeah,
so I
know how to use the TV. Oh, no problem. You better okay. Him say, and you're changing.
Say after another game. Now, many Preston, you didn't come. And our casting, we were saying, say, it looks like now the Chelsea no the
broken
Ajuriga.
That's a move.
And I was saying, say, yeah, in fact, one would not have expected, say, such a result would have happened. But only say, at this point, no, it's very difficult for Chelsea fans to even think of what will happen next.
My next game against Liverpool.
Yeah, in Liverpool. You be Anfield. Ne ye ni Man City abo FA Cup final. If we are ye ne Tottenham Hotspur bebo at home. Before the final day no, Yako Sunderland. Reach all of these 3 remaining fixtures. Fixtures are you cannot stick your head out and even think say Chelsea can get more than 6 points from these 3 games. Because on the face of the results, Chelsea is at an all-time low. The last time at Chelsea lose 6 games on the spin was in '93. When you look at the way and now now, you wonder, are they really Mr. Obi Wechro on tactical mami? Come say a movie. Yeah. You wonder, say, what exactly is going on? Because when the game started, within 2 minutes, now we'll consider goal. And you wonder exactly what it is. Say a loss of concentration or say and now whilst I was watching the game I all cast a medal. At the point I realized that game we so it's better you use your time for something else. Because it was very clear. Say once the game started, Rich, Tottenham Hotspur knew exactly what they wanted to get from the game.
2 minutes no match.
Come on. And Oshe Taiwo Awuni ni positioning in the boxer. You would have expected Obi to say Chaloba
to close him.
Come on, Rich, just look at this. You are in the box before the cross free far side and Abba inside. No? Malo Gusto had tracked his man down at least very close to him and behind him. He knew said there was a threat. But in front of him was an Awoni. Chaloba was also standing right ahead of him, looking to header and clear the ball. Wait, and you allow Awoni to score this very easy goal. 2 minutes down the clock. Rich, it looks to me as though indeed the Chelsea players are tired. So this is the kind of performance you get from a tired team. Yes, Casa Koso, Maresca, Sisakin, bringing in Liam Rosinia and all of that. I can understand the fact, say, Chelsea fans are disappointed in how Mpenyinfo around the team. No? But Rich, when you have just a few games to go, and on a weekend where Brighton elusu the game, Fulham elusu the game, Liverpool elusu the game, and all of these teams are in and around you. So get the win and increase your chances of finishing top 4 or top 5 and our top 6 round. But you cannot lose concentration 2 minutes in the game and no expect to be punished. And that was what we saw. The second goal, no. Just look at the situation, Rich. Just look at the situation in the box. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Chelsea players. And how many Nottingham Forest players? Just 2 in the box. But you allowed so much space. And look at the silly tackler, Malo Gusto. When you know that your man has passed you and he's definitely going to score a goal, just leave him. For all you know, in the cross will be a bit and the ball will not even end up in the net. But such a silly error to make. What you know? with expectations say referee no on my penalty and accident.
Sebi.
I really don't understand the thinking of Malo Gusto in this particular situation. Because you don't put yourself in such a position to concede a very sloppy penalty. Omo at the share almost second goal. Now, Rich, so many people are saying say Cole Palmer is washed, and if you don't take it, he'll not go for the World Cup. I may want to side with some of them, but the truth of the matter is that the selection for the World Cup is down to Thomas Tuchel Obeye. Yes, on the face of it, Cole Palmer has lost a lot of form. He has not been himself. Obama Chimokrana, his energy is very low. But I want Chelsea fans to be patient with this young man. Because the fact alone that he's very committed to the project, when other teammates are saying different things, he still has an idea or a vision for both himself and for Chelsea Football Club. Utu said, no, a penalty, no, say, no. People never expected it because, Nottingham Forest. Now, when you're penalty in a game where nothing seems to be going your way, and Cole Palmer is behind the penalty.
That's an more than for my 2-0.
Yes, 2-0.
To the Shannon 2-1.
You would expect Cole Palmer, ice cold, Obiaya ready to celebrate. Only for the penalty to be missed. Yes, Cole Palmer is not at the best, but let's cut him some slack because in the very difficult times at Chelsea when we needed goals in the past, he came through for us. And every player will go through some of these seasons where or you need to still pick up yourself and keep running. After the World Cup conversation, I call because it depends on what Thomas wants.
Too early
it's too early for us to be calling for some of these things. But Rich, I think this guy needs to be commended a lot. Vitor Pereira. I would say this season, people have underestimated the form that Nottingham Forest have picked up going to the end of the season. Why? Because Omasisa coach, this will be their fourth manager for the season. But Oba inside, no. And I listened to him and I followed him very carefully. Okasembi, or say, when he took the job at Nottingham Forest, he realized that, look, it was not necessarily about the tactics. Because if you have four different managers, by now the players are overloaded with how to play the game. But I realized that in terms of how to manage the egos of the players, introducing something like music in training to give them more motivation.
Wow.
Those were some of the very simple things that Obaye, he allowed them to do what they wanted to do. And those are some that have made a difference for Nottingham Forest and Vitor Pereira. And I'll be thinking about Evangelos Marinakis. And I'll be saying to myself, say, Papa Nenibe Japan. Well, this is what he wanted.
Yeah.
As to whether it was the right thing to do, to sack all of these managers, maybe you may disagree with that.
Sometimes players know it's psychological.
And that is the thing.
Michael Carrick about Manchester United. It's the first meeting with the players.
Yeah.
I know catch a players and they say, look, me bana mabano. And yet tactics
yeah.
Let's go back to the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Players is number 2. Original number 2.
Yeah.
Player profiling, right? Then I will feel some do coach number 2. Now then I bet my team do it.
Good.
And yet Chinchina, Yankoba 3 back, Yankoba 4 back. You could give me the feel say be my result. Let's do it.
Yeah.
The moment players in the park is you feel some the result be mine. Do it.
Good. And that is what Vitor Pereira has done. And
the result that they are Manchester United.
Because now they can safely tell themselves that they've avoided relegation.
Because say players no do sa stage now.
Yeah.
Pressure about so that.
Yeah. Building very high.
So bombardou with tactics. Now mama di mo Ojina Park go to go day.
Yeah.
Allow very them true. Fundamentals no obodu 2 we born 3 4 5. No main result. That's it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Momo there. Me say money Liverpool no. Say answer to Traupa na Chelsea situation na me come back as if
Rich, I don't remember later.
Yeah, man, lead the charge and yeah, Papa no.
We see
Chelsea way.
As for but Rich, Chelsea no, I don't think
players no.
But Rich,
psychologically.
But the truth is that if Chelsea are very honest with themselves, they say they're marking. In Pennyfono nim say at the end of the season, a lot of things will have to be done drastically in terms of say overhauling or say players now, because there are some players who need to be removed from this team, and it's very clear.
Yes. Oh, na say time City Arsenal no. Ade say me catch you. Say league ni dey Arsenal will win it. And so win.
Oh yeah, I mean, say yeah,
because it seems like City Arsenal lose game. City in the league, no. Arsenal games na kala. Full Burnley, Crystal Palace.
Arsenal for one say and form 90 giant continue patenting come. Mo mo season ni. Na when you
oh, so no.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Doctor Ba.
Junior Sechiko. Na minim the doctor there.
Incoming doctor.
Media phone abese ko tell. Na ko this time ke say ka hospital. Na ko yeah, man ka o sia.
The youngest doctor.
Right.
Oh, Ghana.
Yeah, what I say.
Which if you are very fine. If you are very fine. Hey.
Oh. But and
from you.
But and episode was be about that. This is a grand porter as a Pochettino.
And if you are giddy. Now, not your friends are so. No, and you see, my music question. Now, first, now you know, as a you didn't commonize, Chelsea problem is coaching. But with the result that recently Chelsea, I'm saying, we're looking beyond coaching.
Which, you see, I think that's, say, who did Chelsea in Comona? One thing here, you'll be tempted to look at just one facet of the problem. And you'll be making a huge mistake. So, share just one side. Why am I saying this? Say, Obika say, oh, Todd Bolly mobile, you know, sporting directors, almost fine, almost your experience, almost your Brighton level. And then that, almost Jumano. Great mistakes in terms of the transfer market players, even with respect to age, inexperience, this and your manner. I think there's an iota of truth in that. You can't 100% say, and you know, there's no truth in that. There is some truth in that. In fact, Makani several times said, even before the sporting directors in Bebano, Todd Bolly, Nene, or Noani Egbali, no, they bought experienced players, but they were not good enough in the long term. Obiantimi can't say Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Chelsea Kofane Bayern, he succeeded. He did not. Obiantimi can't say Khalid Koulibaly.
Aubameyang ko fa sana ni wi.
I make am nti.
What born boy wi.
Exactly nti picture am person me painting so pay clear attention. I'm saying that there was a point to ko for players are experience e buy. Because just experience those players are experienced but they didn't get results. Raheem Sterling. So those are wrong players to go and buy. It is only criticizing ownership now. Only you're right in criticizing the ownership.
Experience in age.
It's not just in age. Experience in defining its age.
Okay.
The only thing is that experience comes with age. So my year Juma since me 18 years, by the time I'm 30, you expect that about 12 years experience. But somebody also could have started as early as 16 years. By the time I was 20, no also 4 years experience on yet rookie. You understand? But in the context of this, what I'm trying to say is that Chelsea sporting director see a mistake. Honestly, a mistake. Rich. Me project are perfect that. Me say oh project, one project be a football man. A perfect from the start of the project to the end.
No. It takes time.
So let's give ourselves examples. Liverpool project Fenway. Who's our Casano see American owners the own person better.
No.
Like profit and loss.
Now some owners were not top.
Exactly. I would have come there. But the only example, Keke. Time of Fenway be fair Jumano. Let's go back to the coaches they went to take at Liverpool. Look at the number of years, the changes they went through. And then they chanced on one man, Jurgen Klopp. Then they said, okay, Akwa we buy Yasasa, Brandon Rodgers, this, that, your top players, Mfa, Yakoto, Mamadou Sakomo, all of these boys. Then we got Jurgen Klopp. Then they said, okay, may handle the keys to Sati Mwe Eddie Amau because we are good. Rich, they be a tanker. Say in modern day football, Edding say team be jai all the autonomy to a coach. But it is also important to note, say, once you don't give autonomy to coaches, you let coaches have a huge say in the day-to-day running of clubs. And now, Sex Fabregas say, the 8-year Amani is successful, and they say, when you have a lot of freedom to do his job, and then you one. Now, let's go to the Paris Saint-Germain project. Okay, Paris Saint-Germain project. Messi, Neymar, Ancelotti, Unai Emery, Thomas Tuchel, Thiago Silva. Chop, change. It got to a time, the French in Paris Saint-Germain wanted to go France. Uncle for Christophe Galtier by as manager. Then when they brought Christophe Galtier, realized that no, you can't just make a decision based on being pro-France. Then they said no, we need one man. You bet me trust no. For even in Paris Saint-Germain's case, they added Luis Campos. So an experienced Luis Campos as sporting director, top coach in Louis Enrique. Chelsea for sporting directors might have made a lot of mistakes in the past. But immediately you get to the point where you get Enzo Maresca. And again, in the Chelsea contest, Okafor Pochettino, Okafor Potter, not Tuchel or Honum. Tuchel shouldn't have been sacked. I don't know what the reasons are. But you find we'll move on. Referee Potter, Wako Pochettino, and when you're Enzo Maresca. Rich. Wow, en semna etorebia Jimmy Carragher Mokano. Ayana for Chelsea fans, and yet just about the crash of the matter in the home. It is how a Liverpool fan will talk about Chelsea and the Chelsea fans they see Osano. Because Jimmy Carragher can be saying the truth about Chelsea. But immediately or any analysis need because the Chelsea £1 billion bottle jobs like Neville did now. How do you think a Chelsea fan will take it? Truly no. So it is the troll back and forth a question about form. Then a manager comes in. Or by no say, or no. Chelsea team na momusi problem wom. Omo nyade they are inexperienced no. Rich, obetimi di oma ye bibi. Rich, what you make us say? What he did was that he took this team to the Conference League final. In a season na Chelsea for no to make sure say they will get the job done in qualifying for Europa League. With Europa League once and seminar. Rich, when they were struggling with Champions League qualification, Rich, this manager, it will maybe throughout last season, Chelsea team qualifying for Champions League. The same players. In fact, last season, Chelsea ain't a striker or said the number of goals that
the first leg, our Wonder Metropolitano. I tell for the attendance, our team, yeah, from Salati commanded Omni Arsenal, about 1-1. In Tiana, and the second leg, and so 18 at 2. So, na game economy, na Arsenal shop a Kabakwa, Alati commanded Antimi Ante, through a branch of Bukayo Saka, another captain, Adema, a Arsenal Football Club, na a branch in the go, no, Adema, a Arsenal, to say, Arsenal are qualifying almost second time. Yes, Arsenal pa. This is almost second timer. Almost a qualifier Mokobo UEFA Champions League final. The first time Arsenal call final na 2006. I'm in Barcelona and at the Primso. Na game the corner in for the tennis. Barcelona to come Arsenal at Kano Ayabako. So from 2006, I find Arsenal as I call a final Yamiadoma. On the 30th of this month, I will Budapest, Hungary, and a final, and so a bit to me, and so I told you, and you better come up. Na, ye dear no community, of course, Yababa, and Bayern Munich, and so the Paris Saint-Germain, and na Ebo, a war, a young Munich, Krumo. Now, so the first leg, said the enemy say a copy, na a avalanche of goals to PM pa. We share, now we share, it was end-to-end action. Two teams, Obia Biombo game, Irena, Paris Saint-Germain, Shedum, Ama, Bayern Munich, Ashe, a 9, 5-1, a scoreline in the 9, and so a war, a first league, and then, yes, I say, no, why, and now Obetimi Ashe Nafi, or so I join a team from the Arsenal, Net Yamiadoma final, and so at me, about so on the 30th of this Martinafi, Yahweh said the Hunsam no. And so ABC I continue over to me don't message no abana yakenkan at the ama UEFA Champions League. I tell for the attendance say final no is set. Arsenal already omodin kan qualify. Omo trying to game no through UEFA Champions League na yahwe say Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain when and ebetimi enya eye qualification afi ono so etimi awram abo eye Budapest nti road to the final no is set ya be said de honsam no enso ebetimi akontu betimi do message no aba na ya kenkan enso etimi ediamao awo eye dwumadie no enso so nti ne game no betimi do prediction no ediaba then of course eno game no so no said you to hu ni bia no anonso obetimi edi aba na ya kenkan eye o message no enso etimi ediaba nti pharmacy de brass say na afi abeda fombra na yankinkan eye message no enso information na ya started discussing so no enso etimi edi amamo awo eye dwumadie so ene enso anope but before abeda for bebe no mama chana na mankwa in fact nana mfa show we ni agrokra na o Ghana no na otieja ya in fact eja de udu obia fa na mass ene o ka mass obia nim no awo eye eja ya yi but se de nana akopim awo Texas awo America bruchumem Dallas ho na nana mankwa awo na okọ eye America Texas awo Dallas wo no nana eja se hene enso awo eye Dallas krum ho na ono na eye das hene asin okọ eye Ghana fo amonso awo eye Dallas na konya di no eye nana amankwa atia nana amankwa atia menisa no anope nana piao nana eti show ne dendenden awo eye Texas Dallas awo eye America abruchimamti nana amankwa so mfa show India grokwa nana good morning from Ghana menisa America de sabri ade kran sheda enche papa and yedase pa yedase se anope bia no onso utie Nhyira passports enso awo eye Dallas kumone eye Texas Dallas Ghana famu ndina no ye chamo ene anope se mumfa show no endi eye agrokra the farmers bra na etifo yenkenkan fama minimi adegrundia ene se di ntina de atwifa no bosa what a farmer said no bra as and when bia abetutom bia no mehwe na yakenkan message no enso etimi adi amamo enso abo eye dwumadie no enso so inshallah so for 0.5 FM UEFA Champions League ahonsam no edna edaso etinkonwama yede ebrel enso abo eye dwumadie enso Josh yana bra na yen start eye dwumadie na afi wi a FIFA Manfred and Swaba na afia de ensama kanini na no enso ede atwas I don't know reason tia ade na messages no mo famra me try say me to load no hanafi ya can message no enso ede am tia two sorry and one game and eba so and ya boba ko ndada Arsenal share ba ko Atletico Madrid entimi anti to make say Arsenal anya qualification amonso ekwa akobo aye UEFA Champions League final after so munya first qualification to the final in 2006 as a video Mikel Arteta and no Arsenal I give no and so a bit to me I said the honsam no and so a bit to me I continue farmer said no ebra na yanking kai emfa emau edle anope ewo dwumadi so tilo fadia kan bra we no fadia kan bra na me who said the honsam no and so ABC I don't know the reason why ade no entimi and lodi and so awa enti I have started discussions no day amamo fa message no ebra na yankin kan fama enra UEFA Champions League games no Arsenal Atletico Madrid de kabakwa omo entimi antina ene Bayern Munich ene Paris Saint-Germain aboboku no and so ebetimi abona afia hwe wana ekoka Arsenal ho na on the 30th of this month May when na age the UEFA Champions League na die sinazo ni na no obetimi edo message no abana ekenkan enso edi amount ene anopay okay before Joshua obabamu no ma me fast na be mfama Amansie Rural Bank PLC makase bank papa so do mo ye adwuma no eye Amansie because omo de so pebisia pa ade udwuma de o men 10 no kana chichi bia so ho banks ibi won mo beda da o sa wɔkyena bra kɔfa we bra ɛna wo dan no kɔfa home papers kɔfa wo fa no ɔmɛsan we ɔmo de bisa no kwa so ɔmo yɛ we nim na no nkɔm de ma wo kran kanyɛ a ɔmo wi ɔmo say I'm sorry yɛntimi fa bisa no ma ɔmo wɔ siw time kwa amanse de etiefo nya kasa tenten ɛna ɔmo di man no wɔ fam kulam hono nye ye bibiam o de ko asem ye niema usika na nso no efa ko ye adwuma ene enipa bebre omunya sika enkometimi da ye adwuma ne nso bank yi ko mo mam so de obema nso a interest rate yi say bagayam obewie na ebeka sika but na akwaje untimi grandua so enti amanse de metom so na masori ko eno mo ko ye adwuma na fa osika koto obi account savings account or current or susu account fixed deposit nina no betu akwa bie bi awo ho na se bibia no aye kama ediama besia de ye be ma bintam o ye salary worker o je o salary no wadi ntam ama ho kyerewa o de bra na ye ma osika na nso no efa twitwa ho so ho mo ye ekuo mo pesika de akoye adwuma ankrankra mu dina no mo betimi aba wo ye kuani na wutie me wo pesika akoye kua okọ amanse ho a o de ko asem ye kyerɛ mo ɔman sika ne bi na afei won so watimi de akwa yoku akama kama na eba no enen na amafo banking a ATM ebe ma bia obetimi de ayi sika sanso na sika ne fra broche na ba wi a Western Union eno so obetimi de afawo na onsa account sika kama pa yam branches no me pato head office na nkasa no ewo Antoa Krom manso nkwanta manso dubia manso data no bekwai omo ben eye post office no anyan kwanta so omo ho akokere ye ho College of Education campus or Roman Hill me patrol Kumase Kote station ye ho so fly new transport terminal no also ko ho monso amu ase monko cars so a campus or na fe money amanse nin komo 0247200013 any number we betimi any amanse edin komo na bibia ay kama dia ma besia no omo ma bi na so no bibia akoye adiama omo ani afofo bi ka ho ana omo aso asra 10:30 yen started discussions no emfa emamo Josh, good morning.
Morning, Rich.
I want to say
nyame adom na wonso
nyame adom nyame na from dia kame and so am dia chen okodai so na mu ho so hwe
in fact
this morning so am adia kan ye
in fact this morning very unfortunate news be amete here and my medwunyema kakra my medwunyema ho kakra like I mean in life one of the most important things is to be alive.
Yeah.
And whatever
no nipa de o sorry na won kwa o ade o
yeah
onyane onku a
yeah
onimu o china you don't know
yeah
onim plans anyankopo o ma o china
yeah
entine nipa bia eni se sabi wa o je won kwa no onyankopo o won ne papi de ma but a matter of time
yeah
anti o ma de achi wa it means say so na no purpose no
yeah
ebe yejuma anti yenu sure na yentwa wa papi bia be fine we are be fine but anyway before we start all discussions no and now you say
yeah
say ushe game na on the face of it no
yeah
you feel us ni na no e favor Atletico Madrid because you feel say Arsenal adwene no ayemienu
yeah
he's thinking about the EPL winning it and then at the same time say obetimi akọ final since 2006 at Arsenal
yeah
ekọ a final
yeah
into obenya divided attention which and then Ebema Atletico Madrid will take advantage of it
yes
and come to Emirates and beat Arsenal
sanity
but in Tiamamsa Arsenal try Atletico Madrid 1-0 on the final what happened
Rich and I like the fact say what can I say because I know who say your TFO back could be the message by say I predicted that Atletico will win because I hate Arteta. I don't hate Arteta. In PMP, you know, when we are doing our analysis, we try to do it devoid of emotions, sentiments, and feelings. A projection, and I'm ahead of the game, right? And just like you have said, how I saw it is how I predicted it.
Okay.
The fact say and doesn't mean say I hate Arteta. No, I don't hate. In fact, one of the guys who has really loved Arteta's style, especially with Arsenal and the kind of result and the project that he was building over the years, and now I was one of those guys who was really confident in him. Except say the analysis and how we are doing it, sometimes you have to project it in a certain direction. Now in football, what are the outcomes? It's a win, draw or lose. If after yesterday, Arsenal proved say even beyond all the odds, they can go ahead and win a game, that is exactly the kind of Arsenal that you expect to go ahead and even win either the Champions League or the English Premier League. I want to give credit to Arteta. Why? Because he has proved some of us wrong. Say difficult moments, he can still get the result. In fact, yesterday, match year. Once the second half started, game a progressive kakrano. He decided to substitute Eberechi Ezemu. Good. Bukayo Saka mu yomu free.
At the Mando okay.
Why do you think Arteta will do that?
Martinelli.
Yes. Why do you think Arteta will do that? He's doing that because the kind of belief and trust on the players and the kind of squad depth is something that goes in his advantage.
But Arsenal has a squad depth in the
it's crazy. Rich. And yesterday, I was more impressed because after scoring 1-0 right before the halftime, Obeka's the second half. I want to add one more goal before I take my key players out in preparation for every weekend games the Premier League. But now, once he came back in the second half, he didn't see the need to keep them on. Because at least he had a belief and trust or the Madueke bar. Even beyond all the conversations that have been had about Madueke inconsistency, about ball. And yesterday when he came, Madueke had a certain influence on the game. And somebody would have watched and said, okay, yes, Madueke cannot be compared to Bukayo Saka, but yesterday he came in and he did something. It's rich. 2023-24, Arteta, quarter-final for Arsenal. 24-25, that was last season, semi-final. And then this year, final. Budapest journey, it looks like we are almost there. And like I said, I'm very impressed with Arteta and the kind of footballer. But yesterday, you could tell for sure, say, the Arsenal boys were really happy after the game. Because Obia, the last time we won Champions League final was in 2006. And this is 20 years ago. And for you to have done this again 20 years later, you have every reason to be happy. In general, when they were celebrating and rejoicing, yes, we were cast a Munyambo final yet. Basa Munyaji said the Mambo final. No, they have every right to be happy. Rich. Because look at Arsene Wenger in 2006 when they had qualified to the final and everybody knew, say, once they had gotten there, at least they could have put a surprise on Barcelona. In that game in the final, I'm going to say first goal. But they managed to blow it somehow. A lot is left to be seen of this Arsenal team are more qualified for the final. Because everybody is talking about whether they're going to face Bayern or PSG. And now, I saw something very funny. Now, Bukayo Saka, Kase, he's waiting for the kind of opponent they will face, and everybody knows the kind of opponent that they will play. But I'll get there. But Rich, when you look at Arsenal 14 way, this was the 2006 final, boy, and you compare it to this current generation Arsenal, Team Ben and say a year stronger. And I just want to ask you, because this is the Arsenal team that is going to the final this year.
Don't forget, this Arsenal team are competing throughout the Champions League.
Yes.
Good.
But Rich, look at this Arsenal team and let's compare them to this team. The likes of Ashley Cole, Thierry Henry, Freddie Ljungberg. There was Robert Perez in there, Kolo Toure, Emmanuel Eboué, Gilberto Silva, Jens Lehmann in goal. So Campbell as the captain. One will look at this team and then compare it to the other one. I can understand Rich said, okay, the current Arsenal team have gone unbeaten to the Champions League. But if you want to compare the quality and also try and make a prediction about a quarter-final at Jane Obitinya, do you think that this team is better than the current Arsenal team?
Yeah.
What do you think that this one is better?
This squad, in terms of experience, seeing it all, quality, Bibia's team will be. Just that I'm call final against Barcelona, I'm going to be winning.
They went to compose and they lost it.
What I say? They didn't win 2-1 against Barcelona. And a team I know called the first UEFA Champions League final. And you see, Champions League na funny kakra. competition and times is a OGB that call fair final we win.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes time. You keep knocking. Obe nokia na ebia fair so ebia or second or third
attempt.
Na a smile on you.
Yeah.
Na ebia what you had the trophy no. So Arsenal ain't be and Barcelona ain't the trophy in engine and water because I'm first time.
Yeah.
Right? Now this is the second time I'm call a final.
Yeah.
After
20 years.
After 20 years.
Yeah.
Ahano and then now them come on and say after our first Champions League final now went to be every them. And the experience in the way
okay.
Going forward. Because Ahano experience come to bear.
Yeah.
Champions League you need the simple how. You need to be experienced enough because on the night, you know, and so take you chances.
Yeah.
Chance in a bar, you need to take it
and
because a moment.
Yeah.
A final chance in a bar, 1 or 2, what about 2? What defend the war? They said the Enra, Osha Arsenal took over the game now.
Yeah.
It was a game and too tight.
Yeah.
Very, very tight.
Because
all the two teams now.
Yeah.
Obian person about committing very cautious. Natural ball on the bar, no, a pray for you. And finish you kuta ball na waiting for the moment to pounce. So what I say.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, and now the moment na Bukayo Saka was there because or that striker instinct, you know.
Yeah.
And ball at the two at them. And I mean, you could clearly see say time a ball to at them now. No, me can't catch the boys and say, look, say intimate and say the let's manage the game.
Yeah.
Because or what it takes. Or players that they can defend very well.
That's true.
But look, Saliba no home. I'm out for Caso in Bobo. And when I'm here, Saliba in Bobo. Charlie, you can't be a defender. Saliba. My goodness.
But Rich, don't you think, say, the factor that will make a difference is that the current Arsenal team, no, almost had any experience. Do you think that is something that can make the difference? Do you think that's something that can make a difference?
Say
because this Arsenal team have not been to the Champions League final before, and the gap between the last time Mokoye and this time is 20 years. 80. We don't have the memory of going to Champions League final ever. And because of that,
experience you
said that this team has the experience, right?
Yeah.
And yes, in terms of togetherness.
Yeah.
But when you look at this Arsenal team, no, would they get to the final and because they have not been there before, or because in the last 5 or 6 or even 10 years they have not been there before, it is something that will go against them? Kakra. But I think a lot will also depend on the opponent, which is why on said the 2 remaining trophies that are left for us now, 3 games left in the Premier League. Either they will meet Bayern Munich or Paris Saint-Germain in the final in the Champions League. And the biggest talking point to say the Obieke is how Arsenal have gone unbeaten throughout the Champions League season, this season, and how they have defended so well and conceded very few goals. We're about 13 games, 10 wins and 3 draws. And when you look at the history of the Champions League, the only team or the only teams that have done that in recent history, Man City are here. That was in 2023-24. They went the whole season, Champions League season. They didn't lose, and they went on to win in the final. Real Madrid have also done it in past seasons. Bayern Munich in Swaye. But I think one of the greatest things for them, and they say they have had 30 clean sheets in all competitions. Arsenal. So they know for sure. Say one of the good things that really goes into their benefit is their defense. I was really watching carefully to see the kind of mistakes they will do at the back. Because if you have played a certain game against Man City in the Premier League and you sat so deep in terms of defense, at some point it was very difficult for you, and then you consider such a goal. I was also looking at it, say, at least in the Champions League, maybe there will be that kind of fear, and then you can make that sort of mistake. But I know Arsenal, the kind of game they played, they solidified the defense and they made sure that at every point in time, when Atletico were trying to pose a threat in the defense, they managed to solve that. Also, and also a very good statistical, it goes in their favor. That's Arsenal. Rich, one thing that very important I was say highlighted and they say Arteta himself would have been very happy, but we will try now share a namame tactical board namame say a movie. Arteta would have said say he is very impressed with his team, but he will also be very careful about how Obebo final, because it looks quite clear that once he gets to the final, or now that he's in the final, whoever he's going to face is going to be an opponent that Obebo struggle to play against, and that is what we will see in today's game again between Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich. Now, when you look closely at Paris Saint-Germain and how they could shape up against Arsenal, that is, even if we get to the final, we are looking at a team that both played in the semi-final of the Champions League last season, and Paris Saint-Germain hit Arsenal in a way it is giving them a memory that once they meet them, they have to punish them. It's not Bukayo Saka. I say, you know deep down who we want to face, and Wanka the opponent, but we all know it. So once he meets PSG, or once they meet PSG in the final, it is something that they want to take a revenge against them. But the talking point more is on how that game between Bayern Munich and PSG, how it will be played today. Now, Rich, so many people are saying, we may see a repetition of the first leg, where high octane football from start to finish, one of the best Champions League matches that we have seen in recent history. But a lot could go wrong, because UTA managers need players on Makasa and some more can, starting from Jonathan Tah. Jonathan Tah say, in fact, yes, Warren Zaire Emery and Akasa will say, we are going to try to impose our game, to press like we do in every match and to win back the ball as much as possible. This team is made to attack, and that's what we are going to try to do tomorrow. It will come into the alliance. They know that whatever happens, they would have to get a goal, because even though they have the advantage, a one goal advantage, you cannot go to the alliance and try and sit back. And yes, our Bayern will press you, and they will get everything from that game. So at least you can get the kind of mindset on the back game. But when you listen to okay, yes, when you listen to Air Vincent Company as well, or say, can people expect the same game as last week? Or say, it will always depend on both teams. If one decides to take a step back and defend more, then there could be some calmer faces in the game. Otherwise, there won't be. It's difficult to imagine that either team will change what brought them here in the first place. We are playing at home, and we want to win and do everything to achieve it. It's UTA Vincent Company. It's very clear. Say, at least it depends on how PSG would want to come and play the game. Otherwise, to him, they will play the kind of game they have played in the first leg, because they also want to get a win and get the goals at that. And so, however the game will go tonight, Rich, I really think that if you don't take care, what we saw in the first leg will be exactly what we saw in the second leg. Because Luis Enrique is not a coach that wants to go to Allianz Arena and go and play defensive football. So, Rich, at the end of the day, it will come down to who wants it the most and who can take advantage of the moment. Because last week, on the match, Vincent Company or Assembly, or say, Ulim say, Allianz Arena, Yakobo Allianz Arena, now, Ubana say, Ulim say, on that day, you will not be able to make it to the stadium. Make sure you give your ticket to somebody who can be available. Because on that day, they want the whole atmosphere to be behind them. And that is the kind of game I am anticipating today, where you cannot really call at any moment who will qualify. Because once the game begins and the referee blows his whistle on the pair, so much energy and so much effort will go into both teams trying to get the goals in there. It's Rich. When you look closely, also at Luis Enrique, also when you play this type of match against this opponent, who is undoubtedly the strongest team we have faced, the first thing you want to do is you want to convey and have a one goal advantage, but that means nothing in football. We have the experience from last year, and we are always looking to live up to the expectations of our supporters. If you look at both managers, both of them know that this game is a game where they have to score. But Rich, looking at the tactical side of things, Saubekaya in the first leg, Abrantia Vincent Company, Oma Conrad Lima Etnasi, Emma Canadian boy, a boy, and so many people were upset. So why would you drop Conrad Lima, or why would you replace Conrad Lima and allow a way to play? But Ushe, Jonathan Ta and Dayo Pomekano, so much pressure would be on them today, because in terms of defensive solidity, they haven't had it over a very long period of time. And when you look at all the goals that were considered, there were so many of those goals that just passed through them because they weren't able to keep their awareness and composure throughout the game. Osha Obit Stanisic, a lot of things will depend on him in terms of defensive solidity. But in FIFA between Pavlovic and Joshua Kimmich, I mean, they have been solid throughout the season. Held by Munich in very difficult phases, keeping composure, and even in helping in both defense and also attack, serving as a link between defense and also the attack. But Rich, Luis Diaz, Musiala, Olise, Hurricane, everybody would expect, say, playing at home, they would get more goals, because we already know the kind of solidity they have, the way move ball, how they move forward, how they progress the ball in very dire circumstances. Obetimiaka say, if Jamal Musiala, sometimes in terms of his play, or you're quite slow kakra, but in terms of technical ability and awareness, once you add him to an attack like Olise, Kane and Luis Diaz, and you create a space for him, he can be able to get the goals for you. So there are so many people who will be watching very closely. Say, Jamal Musiala playing, will he be able to link up play correctly with Olise or Luis Diaz? Because that is what so many people will be looking out for. But Hurricane over there in the heart of air attack, no, you can always expect that Hurricane will get a goal for you. So, high octane football tonight, but it will come down to the defense of both teams again. Because that is where we saw that the weakness was in the first leg. Oshe, PSG Fonsu line up now. Yes, questions on Marquinhos and then Pacho. But can they get the job done? I think when you compare the two defense, you will see, say, PSG's defense is a bit more solid as compared to Bayern Munich for defense now. Because Jonathan Tadeo Upamecano, they have played together for quite a while, but they seem to be making very common errors. But between Marquinhos and Pacho, you can see Marquinhos with that experience and exposure. So he may be able to link up well with Pacho, telling him in most cases of the game, say, try and fall deep. Say, let's prevent Hurricane from getting spaces, because if you create a space for them, they will score. So that is one thing now I believe PSG will be looking out for.
Okay.
Trying not to waste the moments that they will get, or the moments that will go in favor of Bayern Munich, and try and stop them from scoring. I think the biggest talking point, Rich, is about PSG's attack. Desiree Doué, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia. Even when they are not attacking, Rich, they are pressing. They are pressing so hard.
Two teams in one and attacking Huba.
Oh, Rich, it is very difficult to say. Very difficult to say, because Oshe first like Kvaratskhelia, there are certain instances of the game before he even takes off. Rich, you can see how electric he is. Musa Dembele, Osman Dembele, sorry. Oh, even without the ball, he's attacking. I think that it is the question I would rather set and answer for myself is that whose attack will be sharper on the night? I think PSG's attack will be sharper. But if you want me to stick my neck out and call for team will qualify, I think Bayern Munich have a good chance, because Omubo will fee, and everything tells you that Vincent Company and the kind of team he has built to this point, he really wants to go for it with them and achieve something. I get the fact, say, PSG are very ruthless in the way they play their football. But if there's anything that will go against them today, is the fact, say, they are only home advantage. But at least all one goal advantage at Odeba Allianz Arena. Mm-hmm. So it will be very interesting to see how the game will go. Because one goal advantage, but you have come to the home of your opponent. The stadium, the atmosphere, and how electric it will be on the night. But it will also mean, say, I mean, as much as Bayern Munich could score more goals, they need to prevent PSG from scoring, and I don't see that happening. Rich, both teams will score. If you don't take care, at the end of the day, we will still be counting saying when they share more goals. I'm sure you'll share more goals or never qualify. So it's very difficult to call out who would win. But I expect, say, Bayern Munich have a good chance. They have a good chance. If I look at the two teams and you want to compare them toe to toe, position for position, we share even both the attack, midfield, defense. It is too close, but I think Bayern have a good chance. Because at home, you know, and then Otimina first goal. Now Otimi defending here, now Upamecano, and then Jonathan Tah, they can watch themselves well and prevent Harry Kane from getting space and prevent Dembele from getting space. There's a way. I think they'll be able to qualify today.
Yenya Alfonso Davies and Yumri.
Good. It's Alfonso Davies and now make an ascent.
Okay.
Alfonso Davies in the first leg.
Oh boy.
Was a surprise because everyone expected Conrad Lima.
No, but so you're 100% fitter.
No, but
sure so the never maybe I'm no young dream. Well, Alfonso Davies no penenimko.
Good.
And so we share team bit to say Paris Saint-Germain. Nenim hono na attack ni no. And I say honey.
Yes.
So what the player bit Alfonso Davies could share our team now. Definitely I do a show. But which honor no young dream. But I think that's 100% fitter. Because Conrad Lima on any position no you are converted no. I know.
But if you watch carefully, that is where he has played in most of the Champions League for Bayern Munich this season.
Okay.
And once he made that, even it wasn't a mistake, but Mami can say it was a mistake. Once he considered that penalty in the first half of the first leg, also woke up first half by Bayern company uniform or the Conrad Lima bim. So everything shows that at least Conrad Lima should have started, except say Alfonso Davies was coming back from injury. So it looked like okay, but after the first half, it was quite clear. Said no.
So now on
your I expect Lima to play. Rich answer na mekono.
I know we.
And now after Arsenal game no. And a graphic way ebaye. Say Arsenal has 86% chance to win a trophy this season. Between last night before the game and then this morning no. It was hovering around 70% thereabouts. But even in spite of this, no, I'm not for the brave. Ejidi said, Arsenal will not win a trophy this season. And also, the way about we because I'm in pair at that some but then tisa. May I idea me huna mediaba. Omo beside Sky Sports will beside internet so. Say how many trophies will Arsenal win this season? At least 40% for GD said. Arsenal for no win a trophy this season. Okay. And yes, I mean Arsenal for Arsenal. And yeah, pass na some. Oh, but Rich 40%. But you see, it could happen. I
understand. Yes. Which two trophies need now between Arsenal? I'm more trophyless. Good. But look, the Arsenal team in our home, and the performance that they are putting up, no, two trophies will be winning one.
Win two.
Me said the Premier League Arsenal will win it.
Okay.
For the Champions League, 50-50.
Okay.
It will be a game because it's a final game. Like I said, Champions League nebono. A matter of a moment in the bar, take it.
Yeah.
What do you take here? You are good to go. And a final, no. Marino Beccato as a final, you're more what I say. And so what's our phrase now? I think the suiting pie is Arsenal. Arsenal can defend very, very well. When you have a chance, but we do a bobo on the tumor. They can Mikel Arteta can manage the game and win the final. And to me, I feel yes, I have more opinion. But on the fair value there, so we two trophies now, Arsenal, ADH now. I think one I have very, very achievable at the EPL. I don't imagine.
But with the Champions League,
50-50.
50-50.
So it will be a game. I have an EPL on the day. Arsenal beat me at Genesis Book.
I like the fact that we anticipate
so good we are na fast pana
inti person me dey eto ahoma nkofo beko efficaciem first one no BW 53D F8A 34. Now second code no BW 53D F409D. Third one BW53D F308B. Na afi fourth one BW53D F1CA5. Now for last one no BW53D F088A. Inti utwa no hwehwe mu omon person ko fikese mti rich no fire sem no influencia.
That's about Joshua Olutuna Martin kan. But before no Minfa emamo ansankra ne ba me the full LS no diaba. What I didn't catch am say Ghana two international friendly games I babo. Bako against Mexico. Now some Mexico game no. According to the Ghana Football Association, the local based players no and bobo outside Ghana no ebefra. Na the akobo Mexico game. Na make say at the enipa eduonumi ensa 23 players edin ababeto abontia see and ombegina Ghana name na coach Carlos Cruz edo akobo the Mexico game. Na notable names are a woman no ebi Majid Ashimeru abrante mbaka we pracha pa the padudo zo na Majid wa himpa Majid Ashimeru is back. Let's never di ewum Afuna Jan Felix Afuna Jan around the mbaka edrumebi na yes Ghana yes striking problem na abrante betwa solve their mind ye friend na num hobi ma obobo be too much bi amfa no edna abrante na yansa amfini bi ma manfo kan ya say Afuna Jan so amika say when you call up or the Ecobo Mexico game ni be and Razak Simpson of course when you say be Nations FC omo enso defender no and na Birmingham City omo brantia your friend say Ibrahim Osman omo nyina ne di o ma o de Yakoba na ye ba me de the full list of 23 players omo Kakobo Mexico friendly game no at the honsam enso etimi at the amount but before me any apom de honsam kakra bi ye wi afif man for the beto so Ediama yeni cement fighter heba and capsules a guy a drono is also street in this one. Cement no crowd dia to baby and a guy na because a drono in fact ediama eyo krumano e just some kutokra no and I edi hun komona ewia ya to so edi amamo obani good morning
Richard.
But I want to say
nyankopon de adom na adom ye
e dey we say Intimwe, cement fighter.
Yeah.
I'm in my team for your team.
Yo, Richard Meda CP, onu abedwa for nyankopon koso nshira mo pa.
Amen.
Na said the bia my at sports no, the sikono, nyame nshira mo. Na in-depth research na mo ye no so aboa. To the bia, fa bia, but say Richard. I know nkrofo ni nyina nyame nshira mo. Na ye de ntia so nkonso de free Dr. James Amoa ho. Na nakwesi. Pemsign CEO the brew bia utien na the bia yenroi otobi na nro no so no so sa kachra foforo so koto edro ni bi na san yare wa kese no sa fo ni nyina esinya menhira mo pa na yenimie pa se yare bia wo so bia nti koto agan no Cement Vital Herbal Mixture ene ne capsules no yankopon adom ni nyina beko ama on so etimi ade ho kra na ye ka biom se ye ka we no isi agan prekese garlic mixture so enam kwan mu no so ba afi agan tonic enso enam kwan so ba na agan malamis eno so eba na ye ka sense ye hwe kofu friend ye problem ni we ti e wo se ye san ye more research na fe ye de no so ba be piso se de be betima abo am pa na bia kama de am na se upeye nu pay bia to ya catro se e pharmacies, herbal shops, drug stores and a chemical shop bia na obira ukọ house me to cement so de kan sa anase me to agan e be ye doing the amount na onso wa frɛ ye numbers a me ba bubui na fe de wetre bia no aka because ya fato yon se obia dro bia wa ye bia ye da bia me nokre no ba ko pe obi adura wa ye dia fam fidiem dia ko FDA bia no edu na ye impo obi okro mfa nko FDA nso se edu na ye pa nanso da bia ye no se nro ipe na ya se nya bia cancer reoccurrence ye ntiase ebia se machi bremu na ye me ya anase meti aye me ya constantly no tubon se o se edro de asuma si koto ya ono me e me nko me koto bi aye se kwa na asaba asuma si no de ne ba no umusa no because ti ayarhwemu no ye wo niema bi e wo se hu wonu medro no e wo se hu sa niema ni hina ka ho o yare na yare ne fare by bring the cause of your disease because obi de bi akoso a niema bi ena ama na tibre wona ka na ti ama na ye ne ya obi so de onya yare bi ti say diabetes obi nya diabetes otumi nya diabetic nephropathy ne nerves no utumi nya sa ha no obi so de na dwuma a wo ye ebi akua adwuma da bia no anso okoto no odo nti amu anya effect ena ye wo age related diseases so ho ebi ti say spinal stenosis so ti oya ye behwe say bia wo de spinal stenosis uti spinal stenosis enya de kese bia o nerves na da wati ho no ena bonu ka say naro esi a wo bete yawo because moje wo say dey afusa ne ko ho no unya ne sa sanso na bia obi ekoso ane ma say dem di kan no na wanya herniated disc uti herniated disc a ne spine no enkase no mfinfin no ya ne ye wo gel bi shawa disc no bro ka sa ye herniated e chese ahono e pia frin kase no ma babonten ti se babonten a na emia nerves no ho obi so ahotutuo wanya arthritis na rheumatoid arthritis onso tumi nya sa ho ha na e wo na chi enti esmo bia ne de se de ti ba eno na pem sai fafa to ye ho se uto adro ni ria afa ni bebi sebisa ye be diagnosis no ye bisa ho nsem na ye busa no ebe me ye hu se wo de no kwan se na wo so fa so no nti ne so uto adro ni bia no afre no wa ba ginchiremu no we ho afa so ya hwe sa ne ma na ma no wa adwuma sem ne ade no ye be hwe wo general lifestyle unayim because obi empower da so emu odin obi so de emu omre obi a wode oda so enti bia wode no contributing factor no enti amu wachi ya oya ama osisi ya oya no eye ho ni nyina no ye nu di hu nkomo ne ya ma wafutuo wo ho afa hu ni ani dim niema ye wo so de ko ano afa so ye betra wo niema bia wo be no mo be keka bom e de ye juices anom a e be boa ma no mpani ni ntini mu nyina anya hoden eno na ma ye de ne da so nko no enti yesi se wato edro agan cement vital herbal mixture ne capsules no wato preke natural powder kan ho a de obeya ma se numbers edi this way obefre na ye no wadi nkomo na bibia ye kama de edi kan no 0241 604 702 na fe 0500 88 30 for your 0244 718 557 now the chat one so 0500 88 90 sana ambesi and abefre e bia now the open no pictures ahwe said the bear the pictures in the pharmacy herbal shop drugstores no akota drone bi ni amfa du fufuro bi ama no me pacho obe send a message WhatsApp numbers ni na now send there and one say bia o say hi good morning good afternoon good evening and one we and fashion kan ho bi send there drone pictures there amount e bia now person wo kire wo yare man hu say wo de na wonoma e beboa wa me pacho na be audio de amaya abro so 15 seconds said the bear e betime tie audio no na ye no wadi hu komonti no so ye ni tia wasa amaye na me kasa e bia wo de no wuti wani nyina cluster tiri ni nyina na ye oya anasa wo de no wuti fa na ye oya is as a result of e bia unsuo no bi wo form anasa wanya malaria 3D bi anasa wanya typhoid ena this how na ba obi nso sabi niyam timu a eno so timi de ntipa e ba ye say wo de woto aduro ni bi uwie afre yen e bia wanya constipation anu odin pa de also ye bia wa je nanso sabi wo yam atim no entimi nko ma wo hunto me pato wo de yesi ni na afre na Richard aye wo mu say ye say constipation is the mother of all diseases yare nyina mu kese pa constipation ba yemu obi sabi wakotena toilet so atima ema ofa ne normal ebe ya say no anya hemorrhoid because omo keep long hours so sabi toilet so no omo timi nya hemorrhoid key na ipa o say ye hye ne so obi so adabia o straining o chim bebre ansa na sabi watimi akọ toilet bia nso wo hawo pasa ipadua kwa no ba bia timi tichima eno ne aka tro say wo de koto edro agan cement vital herbal mixture and capsules na top pre natural powder na ka ho na fe free na ye ni nkomo na ye ni ubedi wetire no ebe bibia de ama ho ato afa wo ye ne to nchen make say wo de ye on say unti no wa na mu twetwetwon sa ma se bi to ase nyina twetwon because obi nya diabetes otumi nya diabetic nephropathy nerves no what chima enti so wanya sa how bi da bia na ona etitriti unsa etitriti bia ba je so do na pempem from sa obi kra so free ni paso a ontimi sorry at once this otna se che ansa no otimi si form akwakoye de also ye me pacho de se koto aduro na frey afi wo pains e wo sisi ya pains no anu dance excruciating is very serious severe pains pa me pacho wo sa no na ye se no to ntia kona koto agan cement vital herbal mixture and capsules agan bi wo to wi atopre natural powder and ka na frey ne anu ni komoni entre o de wo se wo ye na so wo ye ye catch us ye nim de ntia ye kan sa usisi ya de no se betu se be mem hu ba bia be fabiem ni nyina bekọ e na fe so e bia ye kasa wo de unya entire fever na se typhoid fever ti da bia wa ti bremo ye ya onfe afi wo bo e ye wo ya den to da bi kwa na usisi e mu ye wo ya pa wo dwene ho ti ase e bia ye peptic ulcer na se entire fever na onya ye na de sa ha na ba ye sito aduru na frey afenso wo ye bema ti ni ye kan tinu asem ye wo eniema bia etimi yi ntinu da ho e bi ti se nitric oxide sa nitric oxide no enemu ayema e wa gan ene preke natural powder no ti se wo sa ha no se bema na se bi mema se no niema nko ye ntimi nsore kra ye so de tadru agan no mo sa no ne se mo de tactical formation ye boma 442 general formation we there unya top 4 mixture no 4 capsules 4 no atọ preke natural powder ni 2 de aka ho na fe wa be free na fe wa ba be je boys code na eye formation na ye de ba be ma o e de abo sa 442 no e be boa papa ama ne ma sisi su ye enkankan ne papa no nua no mo mfie kwa animu 75 for no person see that them say be ma branch ya e pa cho ye sikoto aduro no na de friend numbers no na ye ni nkomo ne mo asa fe oba mfitikom ne ma nkoye yes we dey no call yes we hormonal imbalance into that bia on fit ko no ya wom that bia so we be confitira I can say premenstrual dysphoric disorder no obesha se confitire pe no anya haw ubon so say me dey no me confitire pe na me say mo ya me ya obi wo so se me kotodwe obi so se me dey no na ba me sisi na ya me ya den obi se ama me tifa e pai me kra dey se a me ni atenkampo e basa na ya haw obi se manum kra to me pacha wo de yese koto aduru na frey de ne bosume eso obi anfit bosume ba ko o konfitire mprenu onso beto adukro na e na afen so wo de ateko wa bra wuntwa bra e frey na eminorrhea no absence of menstruation bi abosume miensa afi ba ko mfie mienu unkonfitire da ti da bia wo tete wo ha ma wafu nyina e kapu na unhu de onye da bia na mana de waste na abomu o pesisi fiane bi de agiade enso enkoye me pacho yesi kota gan no na top preke natural powder na kan na to wi a afei numbers no wa ba be frɛ ne anu adi nkomo na sa nu pay ya ka ho asema sese o pedo so proatu o pe makoma ato me pacho ko PFA pharmacy o kuma se New Road Junction afei so Colinac Dani Heba mu nyina wa asan ne mrum Paul Ventures no Mr Apidank hu nyina benya bi atu aton makoma akonso benya bi o Costa Pharmacy or Kajetia on Children's Hospital in Shenu and a K Poly and I said Kumasi Technical University have made pharmacy in so KO so Freddie Mensah on a rock pillar e ho nyina benya bi na onya sa no ewia na afi wa be friend numbers na edi this one na ye no wadi nkomo na bibia ye kama 0241 604 702 0500 88 30 0244 718 557 0500 88 90 na so unya drone bi American bi say a drone na pharmacies herbal shop drugstores into the ben bi awura ho wanya bia na afi wa frɛ ne ya kyerɛ de ubenya bia to na so watimi anom na ye ka gan na so watimi age say yes eto
okay yedamase pa yamishamu ni dupa mode ema ayegana mai. All right, yento to mami UEFA Champions League discussions no Joshua Wieni de akasa FIFA Manfred so baba na leukemia message me him na fe FIFA Manfred into so mfama say Arsenal fans want Bayern Munich to qualify because they are afraid Paris Saint-Germain will do what they did to Inter Milan to their unbeaten run. Okay, leukemia and had this message at the Abba Akwasi. I'm a United fan, but I can tell you Arsenal will win the Premier League and the UEFA Champions League from Odoyase, Obuase, and now they some message at the Abba. Meaning so Odoyase ne Udin, and now baby a Uti show na. Your friend Odoyase or Obuase anyway. Edase. Also wait to the message number. Na ya kenkan ediama UEFA Champions League na enemu na me ka kire wo se anopa bia uchokolem no aya no bi esanse no na ede na nam ominimu adededededede ye de Ghana koko ede aye unhia bibia ensuo keke ana onya bread bi ekama na se breakfast no enso etime kama we ne friend value for money so very very economical na bibia enkoye emfama nti koto chokolem anopa bia breakfast no monum ofie na bibia nya kama emfa emamo Fifi Manfred good morning.
Rich, good morning.
But you want to say
nyame adom me hoye pa na so hoye
nyame adom bibia boko minti we
how do you feel as your club has not won the Champions League in almost 18 years? League final after 2 decades. How did you feel when you were watching the game?
Great.
For who? For yourself or for them?
For Arsenal.
For Arsenal.
Yeah. Oma bread. Arsenal, Oma bro. Mikel Arteta our bread. At least this should be the icing on the cake. Yeah. At least with the Nyankopo Mamu Bako. Premier League na Champions League no.
At least they should win one of them.
At least one of them.
Which so you see, Makani several times said for me, Adewa Kwema, so you're a young analyst, Ebema, you stand out is resisting the attempt to re-echo the Ubieka. And because it's easy, Ubiasa saying to Mami Kohobi. And last night for me, my mind was taken to somewhere around 5-6 years ago. I will have FM studio. Mikel Arteta, mini Austin Wood, any Dela. And you know, both of them are Arsenal fans. And Mikel Arteta started here, Juma. And I catch Delani Austin Wood, you know, I say, I am very, very strong in terms of my thoughts on Mikel Arteta based on 2 things. Which one say, clubs no omako any long periods of stagnation, not getting success. And when they are able to get nipa bakwa or the belief no enter back to the club. In the modern day English Premier League football, recent times, the 2 coaches who dominating power have been Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. And you remember when Jurgen Klopp took over the job at Liverpool, I said, I will turn down test to believers. And I remember again, Joseph Guardiola ever felt as Manchester City manager. he told the fans, say, he will make sure the City will win. And it got to a point. Now United Forum now feel that these guys are noisy neighbors, but they are not noisy neighbors again. They are the winning neighbors. And it takes one man. Which Arsenal went through it all. Say area unya Arsenal here, I'm sure say a better thing say we recollect what that club have gone through. Say you can top clubs no. Now person on describe a top club as a clown club. It was Arsenal.
A crown.
Yes, I'm not trying to demean it, but that was the state of Arsenal.
Of course.
Okay, Jose Mourinho as in Wenger. Jose is showing his so semi in the
No, it's Arsenal and a small club.
Yes.
Arsenal is big.
Yes, those were the things that the club were going through. And this was a manager. No, the Arsenal team Aquacoji invincible Spain. Then the team deteriorated. When Karionki and all of his people managed the club to this level, which the club was in the bad state. And the person Arsenal for everybody on Fuba, and I want them to enjoy it. Mr. We ask them here, don't let anybody take the shine away from the success that your club have had. Born in your fair, and you're flamboyant, and you're expansive, and you're brofu. It does not matter in the grand scheme of things. All of those English, what matters is that Arsenal are progressing. 3 seasons ago, in the 22-23 season, Mikel Arteta created the team to do the quarter final of the Champions League. Then the 24-25 season, or the to appear in the semi-final of the Champions League. This season, in the 25-26 season, the same Mikel Arteta has sent this club that was supposed to be a laughing stock for England to go into the final of the Champions League. Rich, first no. Now, say 38 games fixture list ever be down for English Premier League now. Say Chelsea for one extra list now. And the Bakono Chimupa was the date that they marked was when they were going to play Arsenal. Oh, that many were Arsenal. Now, what DJ Drogba Arsenal will find out. And yet, you remember just around the time Anna Omubabe for Atete Jumano. You just say, okay, it was Una Emery in an area Jumano. Now, they don't look to be too big for Unai. 19-year Jumano, Ubona for the facing media. Ne inability to speak fluent English. No more the Sereno, good evening, any other. So around that time, there was that aura of uncertainty. Our club. You know, before the other hands, they say, go make it take a cram. You got to a point to realize that no. They have a player who has played for them before, or your assistant to Joseph Guardiola. In fact, there was a video, so Bekaya. Almost every time Mikel Arteta take Pep Guardiola and change. Not only Arsenal boy. There was a compilation say anytime Man City beat Arsenal, Mikel Arteta never celebrated. Not a single time. And a time that Mikel had assistant to Pep, not to Pep and change. Before then, no one City versus Arsenal. City has shown for 4 consecutive seasons. Or your channel. Send any Arsenal the Chelsea, you know. Senior Man City Chelsea since 2021. Or team William Ocean. Once Mikel was there all of these years, or to Pep in China said Man City shy. He doesn't celebrate. In fact, there was a video where even the City players had gone to him to celebrate and he stayed away from it. The passion for the club no coaching. The first season now, Oba no Obi 8 no. Almost season no. Arsenal for a video. The title was Believe. And he wants the people in the fans to believe. Or person players to believe. Or person only Mikel Arteta believe. And he thinks that so we believe in point and will go forward. Which before this season and maybe last season, not only Arsenal for not landing forever. You watch Arsenal games, you don't hear not landing forever. Wherever they were, Rich. And then before games, especially 2 games, it blacks out in the stadium at Emirates because they are proud of the club. And now, almost every Arsenal fan I knew wanted to cry. And I could feel that emotions actually. Who support the club consistently? Na Bayern action Champions League quarter final, no Arsenal. Na Barcelona action, no Arsenal. No way action, no Arsenal. They were just perennial failures. Then one man, nobody can write current football conversation story without Mikel Arteta. You can't change in the last 3 years. Mikel isn't in the top 5 best managers in Europe. No one else more fair, fine. But this is somebody who has done the job. And then football management and coaching isn't only about what goes on in the field of play. Look at leadership. How he speaks to them or absorbing pressure from the media onto himself and then goes back to the players and or say after Fulham game now or call back at your boys and said, "Oh, you're very sorry, but players no go Fulham match. On one of the side of go at go match. And also boys think I change say, manager, any problem. Whatever time you need us, we represent. Rich, this is it. 2023-24 quarter final, 24-25 semi final, 25-26 we've got into the final, and it is unmute Budapest, and now the showing was fantastic. One of the things that's been clear is that the leadership qualities of Mikel Arteta, and he was able to build some of them on the field of play. It's us now about now. Maybe as a Mikel X, players need to park and so, but then Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba, Declan Rice, even goalkeeper David Raya. Rich, in the last 2 or 3 seasons, if there is any goalkeeper that's giving us complete performances for a whole season, David Raya has been there in the Premier League, in fact, this season in the Champions League. When you are mentioning the best players, you ought to mention David Raya. The number of clean sheets he has kept, the number of shots I was saying when he went away to Atletico de Madrid, who was out with an Alvarez ball.
Oh, stretchy, you know.
See, Arsenal have built such a formidable team. To the extent that Edu crumbled through, and then he stayed in it, and they brought on Andrea Bata, still built on the quality. 24 goals per my concede. Honestly speaking, say even if I don't get to look at today's games, I'm fine. Arsenal for another. Okay. Paris Saint-Germain Bayern. Only Champions League final be paying. Only Naji be paying. The story of Arsenal has to be told. Say you 1 hour cry. It's in your mom. And then you get Arsenal as a moon. We don't get to do that.
Only Arsenal for Dingo. I'm saying one on better final. 2 teams, you know, Bayern and then PSG.
Oh, only the also combined 11. Nhyira Nanea Watson. Any coach.
I'm combined 11. Na PSG team is almost combined 11.
Oh, they also pick 2 in the fire.
It's Emfa Bayern.
Any
PSG now
1.
You selected the best.
Na coach is me as on.
Trump a bench or no or Arsenal no.
Mikel Arteta.
Ko fi omu jo mo se.
Say we are saying na wa no pick that. Who of our coffee crowd to
be pro over.
Cause
of our mechanic man. Who for Nimpo. Oh, wa mo branch. And the bus as well.
As a body be that.
A bus as well for na ba catch us about who. As all who you say the and of us uska. Kakrabi so.
I think say team between the 2 teams nipa you say obetimi Arsenal a tough time. Paris Saint-Germain for no. Because it's only your from last season. Yeah. Right. The reason why this may be a different game say Paris Saint-Germain qualify cry. Essentially because of say a one-off game in a final. Arsenal know how to get it done in one game. And I think that they can stop Paris Saint-Germain from scoring. I think so. When you say Mikel Arteta Paris Saint-Germain kwa he will not go and make the rookie mistakes other coaches will be here. He will go long. Second balls, physicality, he winning balls. He will force the game to be their game, Arsenal for game, and then force Paris Saint-Germain to come and play their game. Then we will see Paris Saint-Germain can be successful Arsenal for the turf as well. Honestly, on any day, say Arsenal could play more Champions League final between the two teams in 90 minutes, and doubts that Arsenal will lose the game
against PSG or Bayern.
Yes, whoever will win that trophy, say Arsenal, that team will have to force them beyond 90 minutes.
But how's the difference in the home?
Yeah,
watertight.
Is it
Saliba no? Messi Bobu ha. As we bash, we who baby will be sure, Papa. No than what. And with you, I go there on you know one.
Mikel have built team.
It's serious.
Omo also be defending.
Yeah.
They are willing to put their bodies on the line.
That's
yes.
it.
Like Omo Magin said, ball.
Say no, a brand tending who could jibo me, you know what I'm saying?
Now, who is it? And share Guillermo Simeone born and Gezanko Bosheno. Gabriel Magalhaes behind. If it was any centre back, like they would give up. But Gabriel kept on putting him off. Yeah, Guillermo should have scored that. But Gabriel kept on putting him off. Yes, kept on putting him off until someone is saying. And for me, that is the level of solidity Arsenal defense here. And only Paris Saint-Germain or whoever the case is, on a night like that, only saying a story they complete. Saint-Germain carry the share. I think it was perfect. Victor Gyökeres was fantastic. And again, the development of Victor Gyökeres, we don't say it as much as saying Abraham was struggling. You remember when he came, he was struggling to score goals. And now, even some minute details like the back to goal, you will have Hanko. And after the game, only Hanko, only Mark Pubio, constantly making sure that he was the needed outlet for Arsenal. But this man, oh Charlie, he deserves everything that is coming his way because he has been a representation of Arsenal. The end of the game, you know, they say, Thomas Partey is not part of this party because he started it with Granit Xhaka. But last night it was Bukayo Saka's night and he was absolutely fantastic and you give them credit. For me, I think say Abantia your friend Diego Simeone, the road should end here for Atletico Madrid. I don't think say he can re-engineer anything again. They should let him go. This season they invested a lot, but I don't think say
any changes in his age.
It's a timeout. I didn't know what he was expecting for the game at that point in time.
And Opena mi busa George say.
Yeah.
The reason ne saying o change Julian Alvarez. And a Josh catch him so yes, and Brantino injury.
You're not 100% fit.
Yeah. No, 100% fit.
Yeah.
So player only 100% fit. You know. Man started from the bench. My sort of started game no. Because I think that getting to the MS of the game no. Chances now falling to sort of no said no. So there Julian Alvarez Ebian Gomunya 1-1. A pushing game called extra.
True.
Sort of no. Or a striker there by me mention them.
Sort of this season he hasn't been.
But I'm for to say. Omu team pen final. And to be in control. I say PSG has a dangerous attack and stronger midfield.
Yeah.
Bayern could be manageable and able to handle by Arsenal.
Almost a PSG bedding.
Almost a PSG there as a complete dodo. Any money too sharp. Yeah. Midfield no watertight.
But this is what Paris Saint-Germain Bayern. So I think was Bayern 3-1 was a 4-1.
But almost a Bayern there and manageable. So they compare PSG. Okay.
When you can cross action. Today's game now going quickly for you.
And you better say avalanche of goals in game.
Oh yeah, goals will come. These are 9 the last time no. But goals will come. I think we'll get at least 3 goals a game in him.
Okay.
Which I think that Paris Saint-Germain won't have given the game away to Bayern. My opinion. I think that all those Paris Saint-Germain are going into the second leg with a lead 1-0 up. No? And they didn't say they'll be able to qualify this evening. And I said it the last time. So for me, the 2 semi-finals, it's about Obia home. And Washa, what I told you in the semi-final of Arsenal have come. Pepe. Atletico had a chance over 1-1 draw with you. Arsenal have beaten them by a goal to 0. It can be marginal. Paris Saint-Germain had a chance to finish off the tie by winning by 5 goals to 2. They did not. They gave the game away in excitement of your Bobo Efe. But that really doesn't matter when it's about margins at the highest level. I think that once this game goes to the Allianz Arena, a couple of things are bound to happen. I'm expecting say Bayern will start a game on a high. In the game that went on at the Parc des Princes, because the Paris Saint-Germain follow both, you know, most of the intensity was with them. They control the game better. They got the better chances when the game started and all of that. But most I hear at the Bay, I find saying, Allianz Arena, no, a very buying Munich can control match. Now, Unipa Vincent Company. I say, can people expect the same game as last week? It will always depend on both teams. If one decides to take a step back and defend more, then there could be some calmer faces in the game. Otherwise, there will be. It's difficult to imagine that either team will change what's brought them here in the first place. We are playing at home. We want to win and we'll do everything to achieve that. Which I think the game analysis, everything is encompassed in this statement of Vincent Company. Who's it like you are saying? It will depend largely on your two teams in the person here. But first off, Rich, see a good game now do first half. Not buying LED. If you ever see say over the time, buying about the lead, Bayern will reduce the intensity. They will reduce the intensity and manage the game. Like Vincent saying here, he's saying based on what will happen, and there may be calmer faces in the game. So unless Bayern doesn't get eliminated, so Bayern not cost in the game now. And not any form of winner they do that. So
for example, you start a game now.
Yeah.
Now Bayern has shot first goal.
Yeah.
It means that our level. No Sasha another goal which is 2-0.
Will come down again.
So that time Uncle goes maybe will manage the game.
Not as much.
Okay.
They won't defend too deep.
Okay.
But they will manage the game.
Okay.
Vincent also saying the two teams will not depart from their playing and they do mobile on them. So they will start like that. But depending on game states, unless the sun away from the nominal setup on the core match.
When they win,
I think Bayern goes through.
PSG to go.
So for me, my analysis on the blast of the whistle our semi-final was that Nippo will be taking advantage of the home qualifies.
Okay.
If you get a success at home and you use it well, you qualify. And I think at the Allianz Arena, Bayern have the quality to go through. The biggest issue for team your friend Paris Saint-Germain, and so they said there is no Achraf Hakimi. So we're expecting why Zaire Emery will go and play at right back and invert into the middle. Or we're expecting they play Theo Hernandez and we're chill match right back. But Desiree Doué, Neves, Vitinha, Fabian Louis, Ousmane Dembele, and Ivica Kvaratskhelia. For Bayern, it's more of the same. Konrad Laimer, Jonathan Tah, Dai Upamecano, Stanisic, Manuel Neuer, Alexander Pavlovich, Joshua Kimmich, Michael Olise, Jamal Musiala, and of course, our Brighton friend Harry Kane in the lines. And then, like I said, it's simple Bayern to qualify. Of course, and then let's go see the Bemano because we know it's a final, and we are very careful with the margins of errors. No, into most of the codes, no, go. We are 100% certain say no better. We are 100% certain say they are going to be an over 2.5 or game name, and either team to win an over 2.5. So by rich, but more for opportunity then Omundiska, and then my first code I made more 50 man for the first one BW 53 DE A658. Second one BW 53 DE 943C. That is the second coder, and then me more third code no, and so BW 53 DE 799D. Fourth one BW 53 DE 6425. That is the fourth one. And last one BW 53 DE 3787. And only 14 outrage. Fifi Manfred, all social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, all handles are on Sabeka Coats. No one,
okay, we Yadasi. Message bear Ibinafi Yemra Efie. Sylvester Menso say, as a Chelsea fan, Lalai, Arsenal should not win the Champions League, so Chelsea can remain the pride of London. European champions, Arsenal fans won't sing that. We know, say, at the account Frank OY. I say Arsenal are better off in a two-leg game than final. Arsenal lost to Barcelona in 2006, lost to Chelsea in the Europa final. They lost to City in CAP this season, looking at how they play in second leg ties. Okay, Aranta Frank gonna this message and so at me at the Abraham Patrick in here. I don't know why no analyst is talking about Ben White performance. He was my headache before the match. He makes the absence of Timber, but always not yesterday. Okay, Patrick in here, a message, you know, and I'm making kind at the Ama Yabefie na at the Fisamo and so at was Mama in Shawanzo 4.5. Miss Mame, Blaster squad ID Asia Mexico no. Na nchemu kakra wo die on say Saturday tonight in Mexico bebo no and just sanctioned by FIFA enti ebedru no say bia ukofre player bi na ni team ka say o ma no emebo a untimi enka na chinchin bia and into the decision of the FA and say na omuntimi fa Black Stars team no enkobo sa game no and into the omen so ombefa local players kakra na yafa foreign players na so kakra edia a mix na fe ye de akwakobo Mexico and so game to make us say listen no and so etimi ababontim pamcho mun project mabena ya herefo ne atifo nso no abehwe listener make ho aye asem no enti ocean listening ma so far 3 goalkeepers Solomon Agbasi Paul aye Robertson and Gideos aye Asako amo and 3 goalkeepers House of Folk Ayas FC and a dream service of goalkeeper. Omomiensa and a complete a goalkeeper. So defenders na Oscar Opong, Ebenezer Day, Ebenezer Annan, Manu Dia, and a Faye Nathaniel J. Razak Simpson, Usena Kademande FC, and Da Costa MP, and Ebenezer Aban, Abrantui, or Bobo Pa Diama, Ayapando out of lands. Radin Tapon near Crania Case, and Kabesha Black Stars, no. I na yemfra Branton and I mean no solid abandon so nya kolaba or the air kwakobo yene Mexico game anyame adoma May 22nd a fiada and a game no and so betimi abaso oko midfield ona Emmanuel Ejei ono etimi enya collab afi Abdulaziz Isa Branton Baka oko Barcelona B na Osia Academy Dreams and a Branton di 2 kwan onimbo pa ono so enya aye collab Augustin Boache is back in the team Majid Ashimeru a Branton so ye names the Black Stars or Bobia true a prepra and an answer na yenya Majid Ashimeru a Branton enya aye collab and Saksachi ono so eba and a Salim Adams say Ghana Premier League aye bodiem say it seemed he's the best player for now Bob Branton abodiama mediama no and Yansam Kito Akranti, Salim Adams, the D and so PM, our midfield or call anymore now. Forwards, Daniel J. Felix Afanajan is back. Ibrahim Osman, so and your collab. Prince Amwako, and Francis Amuzu, and Joseph Opoku, Omina, so and ya place a war a collaba, and so Etimaba Yamiadma, May 22nd, and na in Mexico, Abontino. We a collaba, Coach Carlos Cress, and so. Etimi aye Zando had a problem with the Ayana
of course
sir
Rich
goalkeepers no
baby how me local players na me issue how many local players my count to 5 from 23
yeah
6
6 right Agbasi House of Folk Gideos Asiako
6
Dream Service goalkeeper
me say Dream Service goalkeeper
aye
Rich. Now I was expecting an attacker from the local league. One of our best strikers in terms of the goal scoring charts. Attack community in him. August no class speak on the Lady Ghana Premier League top scorers chart. Did you? Say Ule Foundation.
Maulu Ayonso is playing so well.
Yes, Ule Foundation is the reason they am for Black Stars team A. Ankwe because I mean that window. In fact, league matches will be played.
Yeah. Yeah,
what I say?
And yes, sanctioned by FIFA.
Enti say na mimi hu say anka hasen and give it media more local players not to go and then display to the entire world say mo kra no mo sa akade na mo Black Stars no. Na 6 players. No Rich we dey 6 players there. Me the department be also kinya be 3 players.
Zando unim problem so me mo mode sa argument in the bound board no problem anymore. I mean a more central ya. And I'm saying the Ghana Premier League na ye bono enye e bon.
What if Rich Dabi. Maybe I make a massive.
No, so league now mumu feel league in England.
Rich boss.
Do you expect Carl Squares to
no boss T. Me na make a massive. Me can't just Ghana League in a bon et and tinder. And you could show be a workers and nice argument. My point is that your local league, yes, Black Stars or Konya did project some of players or Moya di Omwa. Why not? And Sika Kuno Yebi. Okay, say maybe I think Sudan and South Africa bebo and a COVID-19. Abrofuna Timiama. Sorry, because Abrofuna foreign based players. No wait, baby na Timiama.
Abrofuna.
I want to come poku ne Christopher Nate munya opportunity. That is what I was expecting from Carlos Correz. So local players na shenke mufa. Friend no ko bono bibi da so ana.
No.
Biliana so. And the entire ya ko boka coffee for we free her. We have and you see look at the list. Not to demean any of the players, but I'm saying that your local players that's your nation and you and have a rich. And if you know the local is supposed to be their primary product. Bibi said also get me do what I say. Me local player argument now it's not even about merit too. Say omoya de chomo mo abroche no. Or the abroche no.
National team collab there. And so merit to collab.
I'm making a contextual argument.
Okay.
The American say we friendly match we na so. Players na ga so moko World Cup no. In any case, in the context of our preparation for the World Cup, this friendly match is useless.
But Zando
is it not useless? Because players here move me. Players here from me. And we do say they World Cup.
And so that's
the point.
Listen, the woman say, all squad here free. Say the main Black Star squad near the World Cup in the bar. Expect Satimi at the Kobo Mexico. Expect some of the players I was Satimi.
Wait,
yeah.
Black Stars
Rich. Yes. Players never boss argument.
Okay, wait. You better say me goalkeeper say you from me. Obi no World Cup.
Goalkeeper forget about that.
No.
You heard the outfield players.
Defense.
Let's look at the outfield players.
Where defense? Why never World Cup? Huh? Wait, I'm saying that. Say in fact, if you go make the World Cup from this list, almost 2%. And so, Mama, and Zasumi is number one. Your preparation for the World Cup, this friendly match is useless. Number two, Sikabi Naso. Number three, so Jessica, trophy Dia Naso. And this idea, your local players now, a bit of Steve Zander, you move the Dano. I don't know friendly match. Especially when it is 90% of these players who don't go to the World Cup. I know they are Ghanaians, but I'm mentioning the NSA. Your local league, that's your neglected talent too much. After 23 players, and Brian him say your main players near Yawomo, not 6 pay. And if you got no. I was expecting
6
players from each department. Masa, here, you were August Nokra, you were Takumi. What mention Maulu are you?
Now, August Nokra, I say, I look up Blacks as well. Galaxies.
Make up Black Stars as a Galaxy. Make up Black Stars as a
Kotoko striker. Abetamo is also in the team.
Make up Black Stars as a Galaxies. Make up Black Stars. And to what make a mention say Kebia be about 10 local players. Nanka curious they are making statement say about the local players the Muya dia Manu. Now 6 out of 23 there. Check the percentage in America. Oh, where do I'm in sense from? Huh?
Nah, maybe Carlos Grace no buy you look at Zeno.
That's another question.
I think I'm saying about league back league match back.
Yeah.
No, back when more legal.
I'm saying
last week.
Black Galaxies.
Yeah, and no common
league.
No, but Rich, you see, the argument of the local league is not really about merit.
I understand, but say yeah, Carlos should court more than 10 players from our league. Question or buy in the league no,
but it is possible. Rich 6 no from whatever. It is possible because luckily for Carlos Cruz, they have maintained 3 local
maybe with a scouting reporter when he's okay with them 6 players.
No, I'm missing in the now the son on that in charge for the collab no local players you know new come now Blasters come friendly match and for so be and so for a World Cup trophy be and so you see from local players 10 in shame. I don't see what This is too much.
Okay, Mr. Mama Menyama, and I Ghana Premier League ho, Alexander Okone ho United game no. Medical check say because of Hoy, almost a suspension from the Ghana Premier League no. Obi an be bobi abenya appointee ene asanogo benya walkover. And so I was our game nim. Hello Bebo Karela, Chelsea Bebo Mediama, Ghost of Salmatex, Lions, and Nations Bebo Holy Stars, and Diana. Na young apostles above version. All Blacks above 11 wonders. Na Bechem United above a year. Dreams FC na P. Funds and associates also bra. Commerce doom. Beji home appliances biana electrical appliance. And so for free and a catch it for. Now also for be eco make us say air condition or qua dear bois would say yes. Where they find air condition in the coffee be dear bar. Bono edda from on sabit me akabi. Your mobile phone bia. Also, Obasa Auto smartphone, Samsung, Nokia Nindina, and Ubio, and Kurani tablet, and also Yakofabi Ediaba, Kumase, Adum Baby Miensa, and not Yawo, Casman side ho, Casman Media ho, yo, Sansona, Obiba Jake about him, also Yo ho, opposite Prudential, and a piece that and so Nanako Yadama Bodinum, or more ho, 0533 0934 22, Union Practical Institute call. Na also question a computer. It says a hodie, usua computer abebe pa. We are Rubenya Juma, and so etimi aye. School so ya in such a way say the obenity biano. Obetimi akona so kwakusua eya de and so as in computer honim de at the few open regular weekends and you na obetimi akwa courses BT network and cyber security engineering, computer business and office administration, CCTV installation and management, data analytics nidina no obetimi akwa je honim de our Union Practical Institute you Kumasi Sesan so si bus stop na friend number 0555 3838 48 na mo ending komo boss who dan na bia me pacho ade ba ko pen so mani hiawo eye windows ene eye odos no because ho de so to na jeje mu a obi betimi afa ho no aba bedu eye bone eniti ene so the sa contract no at the Winloft Windows and door system no man kama informa because o security no eye wan kasa start e di free ho enti be doors papa bi windows papa bi obi tutu a entimi from sanso adna kronfo entimi muani no wram enso aba bi wiawa de entimi saw ko na so per sliding casement balustrade shadow inna na enye kama ebo no so fofofo na bibia enye kama emfa amau ene anopay me ba cho yenso ye wo kumase ya pechi number 1 0537 817 472 ani number abetumi ani edin adi enkomo wati fie na wie emu asesie ni dina ekonya de besisim tables bed obeda so kettle blenders microwave TV and babubo ho shower taps toilet seat odebeko washroom ni na ade 5A home China furniture ho and I made that to sako na akotone ma papa bia ne bo no eda from boko fu abema dem aye fe enso de sika kitu abi na abeya opeso sese office aso dem wo sese ni dina no enkonya monkoto emfamfiri aye 5A home China furniture na atiefo assign say yatete ebo ni dina so no san to ade a make say discount no orkodo 50% na ede ema na so no wetime enjoy the kama pa yenso you commerce asukwa ya also per just tight building no yene eye JP fuel station no eben 0549 680 030 me pacho san cable cables no ewo dwaso odan no for san cable awaya esan se eno ena beboa na eyiwa free ejahihie biem ene ejahihie ejandina san cable eno ntia kanani enim so ho ene yakototo cables bia ede waya ya da ene ama edahihie bebre ene san cable ba no eturi dina ase ediaba wona Ghana awiabo enti cables no awia ne bossa na anane na akofa ejahihie ediaba san cable de ne de etimi hit pa enti ode waya udan na ejahihie de enya de a also be experience bi na Ghana Standards Authority and Energy Commission ajatum so bia waya udan no eno bi NSA okoto ope cables switches lamp holders in the PVC pipes ɛyɛ sankablo deɛ na mekamfo ɛde amount 0534800832 oko kumase aduma also ope PowerPoint electrical no GB and so ɛde afom energy drink deɛ ɛnoa ɛne vim energy drink numbi na amount extra energy fa ɛkɔ adwuma so na kɔbɔ adwuma na bibia ɛnyɛ kama pa enso emfama enano penti so what baby and battle resort to ayevim energy drink na bibia enya kama emfama fufu party no matwe ache ai aha na onse tabu baby says oba okọ adwaye na ocha enya bibia ntia usiesie no wi se na bia opia obia be nsampa oba na apie no se bia ena na insurance from ye entibi hu se ya che na afi fufu party ni anya ntama the my change na say pese ye na big afu party there big time e be unique aduane bebre beba se so apart from efufu no me te ho akyere ye besa de aduane ba ko bi esa de abono na obi anya aduane bi enso etimedi wo de wo ba de ohia ayayewa wasenka no na esa wonso etimi ade abana wo de aba be du fufu simple kra wo de faka fi ba bia obi a nebra nhye fam nim ha na be di fufu nkwa bia bi wo ha na afi enam wo de be di bi na onso eduru ha bibia anye kama emfa emawo na dwumadie me patro de tene sama Moses process center omo aba be swansene be ma bia wutie me process wo koye test ye so process no problem aba ho a ko ho na ye ntwe ne kama emfa ma ye be ma no na etu ase e de ama wo okoye clinic na ewo ahenema kokobia ye be hwe yie pa off Obuase Santasin Road 0248 712812 and here Moses and number and no Greenwich Coastal me pato and nam papa efie no o pa kokonam o pe yamade in fact and nambia upebia oko eye Greenwich Coastal on sabetimi akabi so ho sausage beef ni na no ebi o taki nami tilapia we be se tilapia ni na bi awo ha onso obetimi enya bi ato yewo eye Kumasi Apiedu yene Roma sorry no na eye opposite 0530-789-990 any number abetimi eno mo nso no edi koma faith homeopathic center yade enground zempie enti utie me wani ohade a enkoyie diabetes Samson hepatitis B ana enam yade bi akoti bia fa faith sie osisi na ya no o de faith a on san fampie biem upie no na sisie no uja no ho na bibia ay kama enso etimi adiama 0244-583-859 omonso awo ahenema kokoben na mono ending komodie twatokra no aye edufly travel consult obeso tukwan akwa abrochire ebia we student ana wutie me obeso kobo masters awo abrochire country bia Schengen visa abeje dia ma na dia akosua de awo European countries no South America Canada me pacha oye businessman ana wutie me opese onso utukwan akwa business and so akonya eda ho ye be reservation ne bibia kama and so edi amount South ne bia to and so he ana apesa okọ awo abrochire and so edufly ye be ne kama na utikitin any hotel akọ abedani na no ye bibia and so edi support kama eti akonto in general oboso tukwan a me so edufly and I come from edi amawo ene anopei me bacho ye kira kwan awo aye Kumasi da nyame heya Dampam Pharmacy building second floor 0535-516-363 na munomo eni eyenkomo pamchaw mintwa mu kitu abimra na emetwa so emfa emama odwumide ne so
dachi entwe obiara ene wiase nyina adane aye computer na computer yi wa
me local players na me issue. How many local players? My count to 5 from 23.
Yeah,
6.
6 right. Agbasi House of Folk. Gideos
6.
Asiako
6.
Dream Service goalkeeper.
Me say Dream Service goalkeeper.
Aye.
Rich. Now I was expecting an attacker from the local league. One of our best strikers in terms of the goal scoring charts. Attack community him. August no class is because the Lady Ghana Premier League top scorers chart. Did you? say Ule Foundation.
Maulu Ayonso is playing so well for Hasbro.
Ule Foundation is the reason they am for Black Stars Team A. Ankwe because I mean that window, in fact, league matches will be played.
Yeah.
What I say.
And yes, sanctioned by FIFA.
And say Shena Mimi say Anka Hassan and give it media local players not to go and then display to the entire world. Say Mokrano more sa Canadian about Black Stars. No 6 players. No, Rich, we didn't have 6 players there. Department be also can be 3 players.
Zando, only problem is more sa argument in the bound board no. Problem anymore. I mean, more central ya. And I'm saying the Ghana Premier League na yebono enye ebon.
What if Dabi Rich. Maybe I make a massive.
No, so
Rich.
League now mumu full the league in
Rich boss.
Do you expect Carlos to
no boss T. Me na make a massive. Me can't just Ghana League in a bon et antida. And you could show be a workers and nice argument. My point is that your local league, yes, Black Stars were going to project some of our players or Muyadi Umwa. Why not? And Sika Kuno Yebi. Uka se maybe near I think Sudan and South Africa be bo. And a COVID-19 abrofuna ntimi ama. Sorry, because abrofuna foreign based players. No wait baby na ntimi ama.
Abrofuna ama.
E ho na ma kwampoku na Christopher na temu nyanya opportunity. That is what I was expecting from Carlos Coes. So local players na nya hwenke mu fa. Friend no ko bono bibi da so ana.
No.
Biliana so. And the didn't know coffee for we are free here. We have and you see, look at the list. Not to demean any of the players, but I'm saying that your local players, that's the initial and you more and have a rich. And FNO the local is supposed to be their primary product. Bibi said also get me do what I say. Me local player argument now it's not even about merit to say omoya de chomo mo abroche no. Or the abroche no.
National team collab there. As all merit to collab.
I'm making a contextual argument.
Okay.
The American say we're a friendly match. Players now got some World Cup no. In any case, in the context of our preparation for the World Cup, this friendly match is useless.
But Zando, dear me,
is it not useless? Because see, players here move me.
South Korea,
players here from me. And we will say the World Cup.
And so that's
the point.
Listen, the woman say, all squad are free. Say the main Black Star squad near the World Cup in the bar. Expect Satimi at the Kobo Mexico. Expect some of the players I was starting.
Wait,
yeah.
Black Stars.
Rich. Yes. Players never boss argument.
Okay.
You better
Harry. Me goalkeeper say you from me. Obiero World Cup.
Goalkeeper, forget about that.
No.
You heard the outfield players.
Defense.
Let's look at the outfield players.
Where defense? Why never go World Cup? Huh? Which I'm saying that, say in fact, they didn't go make the World Cup from this lister. Almost 2%. And so, Mama, and Zasumi is number 1. Your preparation for the World Cup, this friendly match is useless. Number 2, Sikabi Naso. Number 3, so Jessica, trophy Naso. And this idea, your local players now.
You know, I seen Oma Omunyamu baby a core a bra has a folk and a Santikotoko a boy, you know. I feel Omu person with the Jumedina and I say they back Kumase and into your t-shirt or a main 9 t-shirt our ha. Wow, baby, Biano between by share from her. Na also Wababa Jibia, made him say Yame a yarduma, feature con Yabakam MP. And so a war a Jumedian so tell Ope May 9th. T-shirt in Libya, Oba and share from her. If you are not on Sansono, Etimi Akabi, Messamo, Rexona, Jodrantino, a war a Yaso, Utiemina, you'll be a fifty topa, Titiru, Omotu, a bassa, a hard dream pa. Now the Omotum so say, if you rebel Biblia, Nasabi, and then Cabone, and so the Brabassa, now Lipum Cocrano, na a yet didn't Utiemi, now it's our problem now. The part of the kind, if you friend to Omotum and a bacteria. Na adeba sa bacteria no na apply aye Rexona deodorant no motoma ebekum aye bacteria no na afi a stop it aye san fifeni na ade fro na amount good smell so na za wonso no ukoba bia aye kama ade amanti sa wutie me na o sa problem na aye Rexona and I make of ona nim say Udi gu moto ma 72 hours 3 days still na no na wo ho hwehwehwehwehwehwem ene no kwa na Unilever ade aba dwa so se wo pesemna ade adware a mekanfo lax semna no ene dia ma wonya bi na ade dware a ebebo ye pa efra huro na ama o skin no o color no etoso kama ama bibia no etimi konkan enso de banti se wo pe lax semna ni bi etimi ato anu afre number yi 0244 812364 monso amope Rexona deodorant ni bi na mo de agum motom na bibia kama ade amamo no obetimi akọ Kumasi edum also premises Anache Plugs anima opposite Boss FM ana obetimi afre number 0244 772599 na onsa enso etimi akabia no pay omo na eso yasena yede da midweek edition of Nhyira passport jumedi no edebram yedemasi nyame adoma ebesan enemo ahia sisi ade ekofa adom kase no ede abram ye baya na obra ato jumedi no ato